We'd like to welcome you to the Agnini Family Dental Countdown to Kickoff. Welcome to Bryant Stadium. My name is Tim Conti, and just down on the field right now, some of our favorite people, Mike and Lisa Nichols, being honored for their dedication and their hard work for the Booster Club for many, many years. I'd like to first start off and kind of dedicate this broadcast to them. They put a lot of hard work in, and we thank Mike and Lisa for all the work that they've done down on the field. As you can see them getting their award, it's only what you can imagine behind the scenes how much work they do, and it's really a passion not only for the program but for the kids as well. As we start this Agnini Family Dental Countdown to Kickoff, there you see Mike with the award in his hand, and of course Lisa is off there chatting as well with Coach Bill Castle. Great way to start this first home game in this 2017 campaign, as we are high up in the press box above Bryant Stadium. And we are fortunate and glad to be with you here on the Agnini Family Dental Countdown to Kickoff. It, of course, last week wasn't the opening game that everyone had highly anticipated. It was a game when we look on the calendar, you're like, wow, as a lot of the college games are getting off to a bang. That was one that people said, wow, I want to see that Manatee-Lakeland matchup. Well, about 6 minutes into that contest, the skies opened up, and lightning was all around. So obviously better judgment. They tried to wait it out. Just wasn't to be, and the Lakeland Dreadnaughts now come in officially with no win or loss record on the regular season, as that game kind of just a scratch moving forward. Now, of course, that not being a district game doesn't matter in that sense as far as district standings and playoffs, but it sure would have been a good way to gauge kind of where the Knots are at this point. As you can hear and see the Lakeland Dreadnaught Marching Band behind us getting ready to kick off the pregame festivities as well. I did see a Jeff Goddard sighting, so no fears. He had to fight some of the Brandon traffic getting over here tonight, but he will be up in the press box with me momentarily to kind of give you some pregame thoughts on this game coming up against the Cooper City Cowboys. So when we look at the schedule, a few names that some of you may not be as familiar with. And the Cooper City Cowboys are one of those Fort Lauderdale, Miami teams. So they drove 2.5, 3 hours northwest up to Bryant Stadium tonight to take on the Lakeland High School Dreadnaughts. So how do we kind of gauge what the Knot program is going to be like this year? Well, we got a little taste in the opening Kickoff Classic. In that Kickoff Classic, of course, East Bay Indians came into Bryant Stadium, and the Knots put on a whale of a performance on the offensive side of the ball and defensively. Really, 42-6 was the final score of the Kickoff Classic. So the defense just finally breaking late in the game, of course, when maybe some second and third teamers were in on defense. So the defense did their job for three some odd quarters and held them to no scoring, as the Lakeland offense really scored in just about every way you could possibly think. They had several long pass plays from your quarterback, who we'll talk a little bit more specifically about his talents as we move along through this evening. And they're crossing through us here, getting over to their point. But quarterback Kavaris Thomas is an incredible quarterback that has come over to Lakeland and showed his skills that I was super impressed with. When you see a high school quarterback that has that much poise, and in fact, there were several times when he looked like, again, we say it sometimes, the men among boys, where he was just kind of shoving people off to the left or right, and then finding and buying time to be able to throw or make a decision downfield that yielded some points for the Knots. Not to be left out, of course, was the Lakeland High School running game, which also yielded a few big runs and some scores in and of itself. We have some young running backs, and we'll watch them develop as the year goes through and goes by. So we're excited about the offensive core. Now, on defense, a lot of untested charted waters is we have a lot of people coming into positions that may have not played last year. So we plug and play a lot of people on defense, which Coach Castle is so good at and talented at. But how they're going to come together as a unit has kind of remained to be seen. And so they get a test on their first regular season test here at Bryant Stadium. Now we have the national anthem, and we're going to take it down to the field for that presentation. Dreadnought Marching Band playing the national anthem, and the Dreadnought Marching Band always performs that high excellence in their performances. I was talking to one of the band members that goes to our church, and they said they're excited to bring you an Earth, Wind, and Fire extravaganza coming up at halftime. So they're continuing to work on that, and I'm sure we'll allow you to see that if you're a band fan and you like what they do. We'll get that program to you sometime here in the next couple games at a home game so that you can watch the Dreadnought Marching Band. A little bit more, again, about that game that was the practice game, or the Kickoff Classic we like to call it, is, of course, we talked about your quarterback. And as I reach around and kind of grab, another standout really was number 22, DeMarcus Bowman, who was that 10th grade running back. Again, some new talent coming in for the Dreadnaughts. And he had a 65-yarder down the sidelines, which looked like he was anything but a 10th grader, a seasoned veteran. Showed that breakaway speed as well as the ability to really bounce off defenders, which we look to. So a host of decent running backs, a stable of running backs, if you will, for the Dreadnaughts. Young running backs, but we'll watch them progress as the season goes by. So a little bit more about, if we set the table here, the Cooper City Cowboys coming in with a loss last week. We believe they lost by about 8 points in their opening game. Don't let that deceive you at all, because if you remember, when some Miami and Fort Lauderdale teams come up north, they play sometimes a little bit different grade or level of football. And what I mean by that, it's not that we're any less talented by any means, but they have a multitude of programs down there that play at an extremely high level, have big, strong players, well-conditioned, similar to the Knots. And so an 8-point loss doesn't certainly mean that this team is going to come in here and lay down or not put up a great fight against the Knots. So I would certainly throw that score kind of out the window, because they have a lot of returning starters on offense, including their quarterback, who will be coming in tonight. So when you have an experienced quarterback, you know that's always potentially a recipe that your defense is going to have to contend with. So not only that, they play a great, very aggressive 7-man up-front defense, so they're going to bring a lot of pressure to Kavaris Thomas. And we saw, again, him handle that well last week, but we'll see how that translates in a real game against one of these kind of South Florida teams that in the past few years have kind of come up and admittedly whipped our tail a little bit. And so I'm sure Coach Castle's kind of reminded them that even though they come in at 0-1, not to take that for granted. So I know, again, Mr. Goddard will be joining us shortly. I'm going to go ahead and take a brief timeout now, and kind of we'll come back and set the table to kick this one off here at Bryant Stadium. Dreadnaughts versus the Cowboys coming up. Stay with us.
Agnini Family Dental truly is a family of doctors. We strive to give our patients a patient-first dental experience. Our goal at Agnini Family Dental is to provide our patients with the highest level of comprehensive dental care and prevention. Every member of our team promises to put the needs and concerns of every patient first in every aspect of their dental care. Our family of doctors take a tooth-conservative approach to restorative dentistry, with a special focus on sedation dentistry, implant dentistry, and orthodontics. Call to schedule your appointment today and let our family of doctors change the way you look at dentistry.
There you see the runway of victory. The Lakeland Dreadnaughts, the junior ROTC, putting on a show like no other in the pregame here. And we are still in that Agnini Family Dental countdown to kickoff. Thank you for joining us. We'd like to give a special thanks to Jersey Mike Subs, who is the press box sponsor tonight. We really thank them. They came through in a big way. Had a couple myself, and they were extremely yummy. They're in a North Lakeland location now, so be on the lookout if you want a good sub. Jersey Mike Sub here in North Lakeland. So thank you for them, again, to being a press box sponsor. As you can see, kind of to our south, what we may be up against here in a very brief time period. It's not, unusual, of course, in these late August, September, first few weeks of September games to have these muggy conditions, as you see the captains out at center field. And what we hope is that we're not going to enter the same kind of situation that we had last week at Manatee in the Bradenton area, where they got 5-6 minutes in and they said nothing doing, lightning too close. Now, we haven't visually got some lightning strikes yet, but as I say that off of the distance now, I see a few popping to our south. As again, you see the coin toss, which Lakeland has won the coin toss and has, in fact, deferred. And Cooper City will receive the opening kickoff to start this game off. So we hope there is no stoppage of play, as the captains will run back and join the squad to run through the runway of victory, as the Cooper City Cowboys are already on their sideline, ready to get things underway. And here come your Dreadnaughts. One of my personal favorite uniforms they have on tonight. As you can see, they had those black pants, very cool looking black and orange jerseys, kind of the orange shoulder pad look, very sporty. And we hope that they live up to being able to come hard with the uniforms tonight and put a win up. Again, that game not counting last week against Manatee. So really this is the first game that is official, as Mr. Jeff Goddard is about to step in here with me in the press box. Well, hello, Mr. Goddard. I'm doing very good. It's good to see you, my friend.
Another fall?
I feel another fall. We haven't actually seen each other till just now. And we've talked, of course, on the phone and conversed, but he made it safely navigating that Brandon I-4 traffic.
Tampa I-4
Tampa,
traffic.
A nasty accident or something going on?
Yeah, it was an accident on I-4.
Yeah. So
it's actually a surprise that there's not an accident on I-4.
Yeah, not unusual, certainly by any means. And Jeff, we kind of highlighted, of course, the game last week. Obviously, 6 minutes in, canceled, and we see those storm clouds to our south kind of coming in on us. We hope we don't have that, of course, this week, but we'll see how things go and get kicked on and away. But as you know,
especially with the big match with the Popka looming next week.
Oh yeah,
you need to get some reps and you need to get some game action.
Yeah, and again, you know, having a little bit of play with the East Bay Indians, but hard to gauge, right? With this one team across from you, really, of course, our offense was hitting on all cylinders early, but hard to say kind of what their defense was opposing and how hard that was of a challenge. They performed well, but we need to see some more action, like you said.
No doubt about it. And they have a tough matchup. Cooper City, 10-2 last year, playoff team, district champions.
Yep. Returning
a lot of starters. So it'll be a good test for Lakeland tonight if we're able to get the game in with the weather.
Yeah, I was trying to tell them, and you know this, all of us do that watch Lakeland football as we're getting ready to have kickoff, is that you can't just say that, oh, this Cooper City team lost by 8 points, as we see a lot of lightning now, unfortunately, over Lake Parker. Caught at the 12-yard line. First guy on the scene hits him and drops him at the 25. And that's where Cooper City, the Cowboys, will take over on their first offensive possession. Second regular season game, but the first one where it's going to hopefully get put in the books, but definitely weather moving in here.
So that kickoff, it brings the Agnini pregame show to a close.
That's right. That's right.
Now we're actually into some game action here.
Good Italian at the helm for the Cooper City Cowboys. Michael DiLiello, the senior quarterback, who has experience. Number 1, as we talked about, who sends a man in motion across the backside. It's going to do the inside handoff to number 12, who gets wrapped. Arthur Breffel right away gets hit at the line and loses a yard.
One of his favorite targets is number 4, the tight end, Landon Segara. So, you know, of course, Lakeland's tight end is very good in his own right, Keon Zipperer, so should see a lot of balls thrown to the tight ends tonight.
Big lightning strike. DiLiello.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many plays we can get in here.
It's starting to bear down on us unless it shifts over. Scramble to the left side. DiLiello looking, trying to buy some time. He's going to have to head upfield. Good decision by DiLiello, but he still was only able to pick up a few yards beyond the original line of scrimmage, out to around the 27.
Just saw a big lightning bolt there.
Third down for the Cowboys now, just outside their own 25 at the 27. Lakeland defense looking tight on this opening possession for them, winning the coin toss and deferring to the second half, as is their normal mode of operation.
Number 70, tackle there for Cooper City, pretty big looking kid, pretty tall.
Yep, big guy on the left side.
Troy Vives, a senior, 6'5".
A flag on the play, which I'm thinking is a delay. That's a delay of game on the Cowboys, pushing them back 5 yards, now past the original line, so they are in a hole on a 3rd and 14. And again, we thank you for joining us tonight on the webcast. If you're listening from here in Lakeland, around the state, or around the world, DiLiello flips it out in the flat. Number 12 has the ball, makes a cut to the outside at the 23, and gets stacked up there for a short gain. And they will be forced to punt.
Robert Madden in the tackle, as well as defensive back Lorenzo Brown.
Finley Graham. Number Trey, standing in and around the 40-yard line. Awaiting the punt. I think that's number 25, Lucas Gross. His left foot stands just shy of the 10-yard line. It's partially blocked, and the Knots are going to jump up and grab it at the 25, down to the 20. Has a blocker, 15, 10. It's going to go in.
Touchdown, Dreadnaughts, number 11, Carlos Best, off the block punt.
Carlos Best, with that ball awareness, picks it out of the air on the partially blocked punt and picks up a nice 2 or 3 blocks down the right sideline, Jeff, and scampers in.
The block was good, the catch was better, but the touchdown was best, as Carlos takes it to the house.
Look at you, coming up with him right off the bat. That was beauty.
That was a beauty.
That was a beauty.
Good new kicker. New kicker.
And I tell you what,
McKenzie's at the Air Force Academy.
We don't want to jinx him, but he had a phenomenal week in the Kickoff Classic. Now this counts, and again, right down Broadway. Beautiful kick to put that 7 points up on the board for the Knots with 9:32 remaining in the first quarter. The Dreadnaughts strike first on a special teams touchdown.
And that was a little bit unusual of a play in that you don't very often see a block punt actually go downfield that gets returned. Normally, block punts go the opposite direction. You see those for touchdowns, but that was a little bit unusual. You don't see that very often. But great job there by Carlos fielding it and getting behind that one block and then taking it to the house.
And they're coming back to try to get play underway quickly with the weather looming, so we won't take a timeout right here. We'll hold off on that. JV actually had their first game last night, Jeff. They did have a loss against Auburndale. They lost 22-0, unfortunately.
Wow, surprising.
But on Thursday nights, it's a good idea to remember that the JV football team plays at 7 o'clock the rest of the season on Thursday nights. So if you like football, like Dreadnought football, it's great to support the JV squad as well.
Hopefully we'll get them, get the JV boys going next week.
Jesse Williams just waiting the refs, but it looks like they're going to go ahead and send the players to the locker rooms with the threatening weather to our south. Just they're not allowed to take those chances when they look at the radar and they see those lightning strikes within a certain radius. They just have to.
But honestly, like the worst strikes were like 5 or 6 minutes ago. I was a little surprised they all of a sudden call it now because I actually hadn't seen these strikes the last couple of minutes.
Maybe one of the refs got a little pocket radar and he sees what's.
Well, they're probably up in the booth there. They probably have
on its way, and they're going to start.
Yeah, I'm sure they have some kind of weather device. I think they actually have to have it at the games.
They're covering the TVs up and battening down a little bit here to see what we're going to face. Hopefully, we'll get back to action here.
If you look at the roster here for Cooper City, in terms of their main players, especially in offense, all the skill position players, they're all seniors. So it is a experienced team with the quarterback, starting tailback Nathan Barnes, tight end's a senior.
Yeah, typically when you feel the temperature drop, like we have just in the past few minutes, dropping 5 to 10 degrees, you know that the rain typically is about 10 minutes out when you start to feel that drop in temperature and the wind's picking up. And we'll probably let's go ahead and take a timeout with the Lakeland Dreadnaughts leading 7-0 here with 9:32 in the first quarter. We are in a weather delay here at Bryant Stadium in this opening home game for the Knots. We're going to go ahead and take a brief timeout. We'll come back with you, and hopefully we won't be in a delay too long. Stay with us.
seniors. Submit your A's and B's to Bartow Ford for your chance to win a new Mustang. Visit DriveForExcellence.com for official rules. The 25th Annual Drive for Excellence with Bartow Ford. We're different, and we prove it.
Why buy at Regal Chevrolet in Lakeland? We're family owned, serving Central Florida for 40 years with a new facility, including a new service department, exceptional service from a staff that gets it right the first time, a clean, comfortable customer lounge, and over 20 acres of our $8 million inventory, all priced to move. Last chance for model year-end savings. Shop online 24/7. Plus, we'll even deliver to your home or office. Trust Regal Chevrolet in Lakeland.
Back up here in the press box at Bryant Stadium, the only action movement on the field right now is the fans leaving. We're securing our papers. The wind's starting to blow a little bit here. Leaving Bryant Stadium, they're required when they have the lightning to actually not sit, of course, in aluminum seated stands. It's probably a wise decision. So we see that clear out happening, which is going to be, more than a few minutes, of course.
I don't know if it's required, but it would be stupid not to.
Yeah. Probably a good idea. Again, we're
just securing the rosters right now.
Securing our rosters.
We got to have that for later, that's for sure.
But the temperature has dropped, and we are in that weather delay. And but the Dreadnaughts, nice little fireworks on the board, quick. Just a few minutes in the ball game on a special team score. That's
nice to get a quick lead.
Good to get a quick lead. And
so I guess right now we can just kind of do some updates on Dreadnaughts of the past. First of all, in terms of the webcast, Mary Claire Madden, who was one of our sideline reporter last year. She was a freshman at Florida this year.
All right.
And today's her birthday. She's 18 today.
Mary
so
Claire.
If you're watching, Mary Claire, happy birthday, and thanks for
welcome.
You did a good job last year as our sideline reporter.
As the Florida state law would officially say now, you're an adult.
And then her brother Chase, who of course played here previously for Lakeland a few years ago as offensive lineman, he goes to the West Point Academy, and he is a sophomore, I believe now. And his parents were just telling me that he is a manager on the football team.
All right.
So he's the first manager, so he kind of helps take care of the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And then apparently, and they're playing right now. They have a game tonight, Army does. And then apparently they're grooming him his senior year to be the head manager for the entire football team.
Very cool.
So that's a nice honor for Chase. So.
Yeah, and especially times like this, Jeff, I know we encourage all former Dreadnaughts they can do the Twitter, or I know some of them have your number as well. They can text you about what they're up to. And we can get a shout out to them if they'd like to see where they're at currently in their education or what they're doing. We'd love to kind of update everyone on kind of where are they now segment we can create as we have this time.
Exactly. And, another update, Zach Fetter, our former kicker. I saw his parents at a party a few weeks ago, birthday party, and he's doing well still at Wheaton, and he's punting. So he's kind of given up place kicking and totally focused on punting. He actually likes that better. And doing a good job with that. So I think he'll be a sophomore, I believe, at Wheaton this year.
Awesome.
Maybe a junior.
Yeah. And so it's fun around, obviously, living here in Lakeland. You see a lot of former Dreadnaughts whether you're at the gym or just walking around. And so it's always fun to talk Dreadnaught football. I was at an event where one of my in a C12 group was being honored by Governor Scott last week. And we're standing, and they're taking pictures with Governor Scott, and I get a tap on my shoulders. How are the Dreadnaughts going to be this year? Right in the middle of the conversation. So it's on the minds, and so that was always good discussion, and it's fun.
I bet you now that we're on a webcast instead of radio, you probably get more of that because they recognize your face.
I guess maybe, but
that's
I get it. Fun.
I get an occasional questioner. You look familiar.
That's what I get. Yeah,
that's
I know you from somewhere, but
that's
I'm
the
not
best.
sure.
Yeah.
Usually go right to the, hey, do you watch Dreadnaught football at all? And they're like,
and actually,
light bulb goes off.
Our interview for the Harry Seafood halftime show tonight, if we get to it, it's actually a blast from your past.
We got several of them. I don't
related to the football program, the radio broadcast.
Fred Lopez, I would guess.
Fred Lopez.
I think I saw him on the sidelines.
Yeah, Fred is here tonight, and he is our Harry Seafood halftime interview.
Awesome. There you go.
So I think normally I do the interviews for the halftime, but I think tonight we'll let you do it. So you and Fred can kind of reminisce down memory lane.
It was funny because I was texting one of my friends, and I just by habit I said, "I'm glad you're listening tonight." And he said, "Yeah, you're a few years off, right? We get to watch too."
That's right. Hopefully they're listening and watching. Hopefully they have the volume.
Yeah, both, right? They got the eyes and ears open, and we were glad to bring it to you. As again, we're in that weather delay here with just a few minutes coming in as you see the weather radar. That's I was going to say that's not horrible, but then now as it's creeping in, as he's moving that along the timeline, that's heading due north right to the Lakeland area. And red is not good, or orange. Well, in this case, like we said before, orange is the only time it's not good is when we're looking at the radar screen. So that means the heavier weather conditions moving in here to the Lakeland area and Bryant Stadium.
So what do you think, weatherman? Are we going to get this game in or not?
It's a pretty good glob.
Yes.
Tough
call.
Yeah, it's hard to see. I don't know if they can expand out on that. Hard to see what's under this initial kind of big cloud mass that's moving in from our south. If that is just on cue. Look at that. It's happening on cue. So they're listening to it. Now that's encouraging. So due south of the initial whammy looks to be pretty clear. So
might be a late night, but
yeah,
we might be able to get it in.
It's going to be one of those nights. But if it's moving at a relatively rapid speed, then I think that looks like to me about a 30 to 45 minute jobber. My official weather opinion and time.
30, 45 minutes if we're lucky.
If we're lucky, yeah.
So let's go back and let's talk some more about the Dreadnaughts. I know you announced the Kickoff Classic game. Mm-hmm. I was not able to be here for that game. What were some of your thoughts on that game?
Well, again, as our papers getting scattered, we got to collect them because if we don't have our rosters, we're in trouble. I think what stood out, Jeff, again is that we kind of were really able to. You can tell what's happening here, folks. Just
little wind pickup up there.
Wind pickup. But what we thought, was the standout was obviously that was the first time I got to see Kavaris Thomas, and you immediately recognized the experience and the composure. Even though he was getting some pressure a few times, he would either you could see his mind working as he was kind of eluding the pressure, and he would either throw it to a place where no one could get it, or he would very strategically put it in a place where only the Lakeland receiver could get it, which is what you want a quarterback to do. Not easier said than done sometimes, but he successfully did it just about on every play. So making those good decisions, not trying to force it, and then several times he literally just brushed off the pressure was probably the most impressive to me.
He's a big guy.
Literally almost like throwing a hand away, saying, "Hey, just kind of move away, let me do my thing." And that was impressive to me, as well as again just the ability to run the field as a field general, and then the skilled players did everything you would ask them to do, both on the run and short passes and long passes. So really good effort, and then the defense scored. We had a pick 6, which is good to see the defense getting involved as well. So
going back to the spring game, Kavaris Thomas definitely has a strong arm. First play from scrimmage like a 75-yard touchdown pass.
With ease, right? I mean, it doesn't look like he's putting a whole lot of effort into it.
But to me, even more impressed than that, because a lot of kids have strong arms like that. But his touch, I mean, he routinely in the spring game dropped the ball in there in tight pockets, over defensive backs, actually in between defensive backs, right to the Dreadnaught receiver. So to me, the touch is really even more impressive than the strength of his arm, which he has both, definitely, I don't think there's really any throws he can't make. And like you said, too, not that he's really going to run a lot, but he can run some, and he will some, But he's got the size, He's going to be one of those quarterbacks I think would be hard to sack. Mm-hmm. And I do think you're going to see Lakeland throw the ball more this year, for 2 reasons. One is to take advantage of him, his arm. But then also, of course, you lose A.J. Davis. We have a talented young running back, as you saw, last week, 2 weeks ago. But also the offensive line is not very big because we lost 2 guys we thought we were going to have. One of our returning tackles ended up going to IMG Academy.
Right.
His name escapes me right now. And we also thought we were getting a transfer in who's another big offensive lineman, and he ended up not coming. So we essentially lost what would have been our 2 starting tackles, which those guys would have been able to probably really open up some holes and pancake people the running game. So being now that we're going to be a little more on the undersized side compared to what we might want to be and normally are, I would expect that we might pass the ball more. With obviously pass blocking, you don't have to be quite as big, aggressive. You just got to, be able to give the quarterback some time. So I do think we'll see us air it out some more maybe than in previous years. I mean, obviously we're going to be balanced and run the ball too, but I have a feeling maybe, trend a little bit more towards the passing game.
I think you're right. And Kavaris threw across his body several times last week with ease. And it's, like you said, he doesn't need to do a lot. It's a flick of the wrist, and it goes 30, 40 yards downfield. But you hit a point that the other thing I was most impressed with was not how he handled the pressure, as well as, like you said, he put always enough air under the ball to where the receiver and a timing route, again, could get to it. So what he would do is kind of place the ball out there, and he would put the receiver in the middle of where the defender was. So the defender really had no shot. It was only the receiver. And, again, that's just experience, I think, and as the season goes along, that really bodes well to hopefully a low turnover count right on our side as we pass the ball more. That's also one of the things you fear is more turnovers, and he's a pretty smart passer.
And obviously he, quarterback like Gibson last year all the way to the state championship game, so he's been in pressure games, been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So if we do have a successful season in the playoffs, you like the fact that he comes with quite a bit of experience. And also 2 weeks ago, you saw a very new cast of receivers other than Zipperer, but very talented, as you saw several people with, close to 100 yards, and I think 3 different guys caught touchdowns, I believe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was nice to see as well. He's got a bevy of young receivers to throw the ball to.
Yep, I agree. And the weather delay is continuing, and as you saw on the weather radar, the Florida weather radar, we have a big system moving up from the south, and it's probably about 30 to 40 minutes out as the wind is picking up a bit here. And the press box at Bryant Stadium, as you can see, our hair wigwamming around, and feels good. That's the only upside is we got nice and conditions
cool,
here,
breeze
in the press box. But the crew and cast is having to hold the lights down and hold everything down because it's blowing around pretty good up here. I'm
sure you may have already talked about this during the Agnini Dental pregame show, but just to recap, just want to take a moment to give our congratulations. They honor Mike and Lisa Nichols tonight as part of their pregame festivities.
Absolutely.
Every year, they always honor somebody with the dedication of the program, someone who's meant a lot to the Lakeland football program, and it would be hard pressed to come up with two people who have really meant more than Mike and Lisa Nichols to the football program and the Booster Club, the kind of the unsung heroes, if you will. Mike doesn't really like a lot of attention, kind of does stuff behind the scenes, but not just financially, but just, they've put a lot of work in.
Yeah.
They've been the oil, so to speak, that's made the Booster Club run, and Lisa's done a lot with the invoicing of sponsorships and advertising, and with the tickets, and just all kinds of stuff. If you name it, they've done it to help make the Booster Club and the Lakeland football program successful. So just a huge shout out to Mike and Lisa Nichols, and a big thank you to them. And they're very generous people, and just just thank you to them for all they've contributed over the years to Lakeland football. And I'm sure that they're still going to be involved, but they are kind of taking a step back and not be as involved as have been in the past. They certainly have made a major contribution over the years to Lakeland football.
And again, I was kind of telling them people kind of knew half of what they did really, and it's a love. It was a labor of love and a passion. They not only love the program but the kids, and they have 2 boys themselves, and I know them. I'm grateful to know them as friends and clients, and here in the football program, and just no bigger hearts than the Nichols family. So we personally thank them as well.
And actually, I was wanting to interview him tonight at halftime to get his take on Lakeland football, his involvement, but it didn't work out tonight. But we are going to try to hopefully interview him at some point later this season.
I'd love to do that. That'd be great.
That'd be great. Love to interview him and talk about
there's a lot of wisdom there.
His memories of Lakeland football, and I also want him to tell some stories about Coach Castle, because they were friends kind of back in the 70s and hung out. When Castle was early in his coaching career in the late 70s, early 80s, everything. So I'm sure he could probably tell some funny stories maybe on Coach Castle.
Yeah. I don't know if, Mike, you want to kind of just put it on a little hold here. I think we're probably, again, at least a good 20, 30 minutes away from resuming play. The rain is starting to fall here, so that system is now beginning to move through. And it is a pretty quick-moving storm from what we see, but it looks like we're going to be in some pretty heavy rain for the next 20, 30 minutes or so.
We can catch up on all of our obligations to our advertisers.
That's for sure.
In one fell swoop.
We'll let Mike do what he wants to do. We're gonna take a break, and Mike's gonna let us know when we're back on the air. But stay with us. We hopefully will plan on getting this thing underway and finishing this one out. We don't want to go scratch for the first 2 games of the season.
No, we need to get a game in for sure.
So we'll be back with you. Hopefully, stay with us, folks, and have a good evening. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Tim Conti, Jeff Goddard with you here in the press box. So some possible encouraging signs, but also some kind of mixed signals here, Jeff. We see still some kind of lightning off swirling around Bryant Stadium, but it's a lighter rain right now, and they did call the players back onto the field just now, as you can see them coming out of the locker room. And they said they kind of, once the players are on the field, they'd have a brief 5-minute warm-up, and then they would resume play. So we hope that continues.
They announced about 8:20 that at 8:30 they were going to come back out onto the field. And it looked like things were calming down. It actually stopped raining. We hadn't seen lightning for a while, so we were very optimistic that this was definitely going to get restarted. Mm-hmm. But then since they announced that, prior to the team taking the field, we've seen several lightning bolts. And so I was actually surprised they went ahead and took the field. But maybe it's far enough away that but it seems like it's close, but hard to say.
Had a few people pull off their radars. Now, of course, everyone's got the radar map on their phone, and there's a couple systems that are again south of us that if they continue just to move in a northerly direction, we may be okay. But if they kind of converge at all, we may be in, again, like you said, for a long night or possibly a second cancellation. And some of us, and Jeff, you and I were just mentioning that there is a point system this year. We'll find out a little bit more, maybe have someone up here that knows about that to talk about how that works. But these teams desperately want to play the games. They don't want to continue. One game may be okay. But Manatee was actually a little upset last week that they couldn't play just because they wanted to potentially pick up some points in how this new point system works and how that could potentially have an impact on the runner-ups and the districts.
This new point system sounds more confusing than the old BCS.
Does sound. So
the staggered ratings and all the different things.
All these weighted things. We'll see how that plays out and if that holds for many years. But nonetheless, we look like we at least will get back underway here in the next 3 to 5 minutes. And thanks for joining us and sticking with us if you're hanging in there on a Friday night, wherever you are. And I'd like to give a special shout-out to one Stephen Cooper. Mr. Cooper, thanks for keeping in contact and having your passion that you do for Dreadnought football. Jeff, he was one of the original Beefaloes in and around that 86 season. Of course, the Dreadnoughts taking home their first state championship in that year, as one mentioned up at the press box, 10 years after Coach Castle started his coaching. And it was neat to
really his 11th season, because 76 was his
76 was first season year. Yeah. But Steven sent me a picture. He looks like he could still suit up and do some damage for the Dreadnoughts. So big shout-out to Steven, his family, and the Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina area. Thank you guys for watching, so appreciate it.
And I received a text and then had a phone conversation with Keith Cornea, former Booster Club leader, co-president, I think. He's up in Tennessee now. And he called and was talking about the Dreadnoughts with me. He's always excited for another football season, and one of our biggest fans here in the Lakeland Football Webcast, which is season number 5. Hard to believe we've been doing this long, Tim.
I said 4. You asked me, and I said 4, and I'm like, really, already? Yeah, but this is 5, you're right. And 21st year for me sneaking in here with either the radio as Jeff put the radar back up. And this is kind of what just moved through that initial big blow-up of systems. You can see kind of was red there right over the top of us for a while. Now we're in that green and a little bit of yellow splattering in there of some. It's going to sprinkle here, but you can see a couple systems.
Our only hope is if it kind of skirts around us.
Yeah, a couple systems to the south that may catch us. We hope that doesn't happen. And typically sometimes as the heating of the day begins to wear off, we see some of the intensity of those storms wane a little bit, so maybe those will shy off as the Dreadnoughts now are doing their last little warm-ups and stretch-outs to get things back underway. And with that, we'll turn around and begin our coverage here of the home opener of the regular season. Naughts, of course, a few plays in, stopping the Cowboys and forcing them to punt. On that very punt, it was partially blocked, and number 11 for the Naughts, Carlos Best, caught it mid-air and scampered 25-30 yards to the end zone. And extra point was good, 7-0, your score just into the first quarter as they're discussing.
They're clearing the field again.
Yeah, it's a lot of lightning strikes around. And
you see Darren Collins, our new athletic director down there with Coach Castle, and talking with the officials, and it's just not going to happen right now. It's too dangerous. I mean, it's raining, but that's fine. You can play in the rain, but just too much lightning skirting around the stadium right now, unfortunately.
I have a bummer, one of those just Knights, you see Coach Castle there just saying, got to go, guys. Come on, let's get moving. And as the crowd was just settling back in, wiping off the seats and getting settled in there now.
It's got to be very frustrating for the players. You know, you get warmed up, you play a few minutes, you go off the field, you warm up again just when you think you're going to start playing again. That's why really they never should have started warming up again. I mean, it's obvious there's lightning in the area. I'm not really sure why they ever came back out in the field. Let's just see Coach Collins down there, the AD, which I believe he's standing next to the principal, Art Martinez. And Coach Collins, I don't know if you saw Tim, in the news this summer, that's about a month ago, was an article in the Ledger that he has resigned as a basketball coach at Lakeland, the boys basketball coach, to focus on his duties as the athletic director. So he was a coach there for about, I think, over a decade, 12 years or something. Very successful basketball coach. Won a state championship at Haines City back in 2002. And then came over to Lakeland a couple years later and had a very successful run there at Lakeland, making all the way to the regional finals one year.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, former Southeastern star Dwayne Johnson is the new head coach at Lakeland. So
right.
I actually know him from when I used to work at Southeastern when he played there. Great young man. I think he'll do a really good job there at Lakeland.
Good sign, Jeff. You know, you want leadership, and your quarterback, Tavares Thomas, is the last one here to walk off the field. He really wants to play. He's like, I want to get some reps in here, and so he's now walking back to the locker room. Again, formidable looking player at that statue. You know, Tavares is all of 6'4", 230 pounds. Good size for a high school quarterback. He's
what you call
level.
Thick.
Yeah. So we are in kind of back in that rain delay, and teeter-tottering a little bit here up in the press box. We thought we were maybe going to get a little bit of action more in, but as Jeff said, lightning around the area. And
you can see Coach Collins and Art Martinez, the principal, down there looking at their phones. I'm sure the weather, apps and stuff, and police are down there next to them. I'm sure they're right there probably having a conversation about whether or not it makes sense to keep on waiting or if we're just delaying the inevitable. That's the question.
Well, I think they would have no problem calling the game if they would have got the one in last week, maybe.
Exactly.
But now, again, looking at 2 weeks in a row, that's difficult. And quite frankly, Jeff, you had all these people that paid money to get in, and now they got all of a couple of minutes of football, and so all those considerations.
There's that part too.
All those things.
And then also the other thing to consider is, I don't know if Cooper City got to play last week or not, but now you're also talking about, Cooper City has a long ride home on the bus, so I don't know if they really want to be finishing a game at 1 in the morning or anything.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, great camera work there by our cameraman Nathan Choate up here in the press box. Is zoomed in there on Principal Martinez and AD Collins and some other person I'm not sure who did it.
So the official update here just coming to us at 8:40 p.m. They're talking about the game now, a 20-minute official delay before the players come back on at 9 o'clock to give it one more shot. And that's 20 minutes away, so we're certainly not going to sit here and gab at you for 20 minutes. So unless you have something else to say, Jeff, we'll maybe send it back again to our commercial and just let you all know that we're going into our second weather delay. It looks like 8:40 current Eastern time that we will resume, Lord willing, here at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I'll just say that I have a feeling that when they come out one more time, if they have to leave the field again, they're just going to call it, I would think.
Yeah, so lightning in the area, a 20-minute more extended weather delay, and they're planning on bringing back the teams in about 20 minutes. So
at
if you'd
9 o'clock Eastern.
Hang in there. Got plenty of time to go get your snacks and do what you need to do and come back and join us here and check with us back in about 20 minutes, and we'll see if we get this thing done or not. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you're a Dreadnought fan, a true Dreadnought fan, I know if you're still hanging in there, you are bleeding orange and black. We've come through our second weather delay. Players came out at 8:58 Eastern time, and with a 5-minute warm-up, are back on the field and wasting no time to get this thing underway. Coach Castle in his gear, just in case.
I do believe this is it, though. I heard Coach Mooney down there said, if Cooper City leaves the field again, it's to go home.
They're gone.
Yeah.
All right.
And then the only question is, if that happens, do they still get a check on Tuesday? That's the question.
That is a good question. Right now we have number 11 set to kick off after the touchdown. At least we had a clear starting off point.
That's a long weather delay.
Touchdown by Carlos Best, kicking by Jesse
It was about an hour and 15-minute weather delay, something like that?
We're back underway. End over end, nice kick by Jesse Williams. Going to go about 7 yards deep in the end zone. Coming out to the 20-yard line.
The
offense yet to take the field for the Knots, Mr. Goddard.
You got a 7-0 lead, and it's 9 o'clock.
No offense yet, officially.
Well,
Welcome back,
not
everybody.
Just officially, no offense, period.
No offense, period. Stephen Cooper, I know that you guys were excited about the shout-out, and I'd like to give a special little hi to your grandkids who are listening to us there in Raleigh, North Carolina. Princess, you're welcome here anytime to become a Dreadnought cheerleader. Diamond, all the grandkids, you're welcome here anytime and part of the Dreadnought family. 9:32 back underway. Quarterback set, hands off right side. Hits the D-line.
That's called getting stood up.
Yep, dropped right there. The quarterback, no slouch size-wise himself. DiLiello, 6'1", 195-pound senior. And they have not just him, but lots of their skilled position people returning. And again, we haven't gotten a good look at the Dreadnought D tonight, but so far performing well. Nice fake pitch, but the Dreadnoughts didn't bite on the inside handoff. No gains, 3rd and 9. Upcoming.
Number 3, Finley Graham in the tackle, along with Latrell Jean, a junior, who's been playing on varsity for a couple of years already. We have a number 76 out there, but we don't have a 76 on the roster, so we have to give the mysterious number 76 credit for part of that tackle, but unfortunately we do not have his name.
Fans still trickling back in. Some, I dare to say, have headed homeward bound.
Maybe they're watching us.
Maybe that's what we'd hope,
I mean,
right?
they have plenty of time to get home.
Be able to click it
Probably
on.
grab dinner, take a shower.
Check out the webcast. Getting pressure right side. He's going to get the ball away, and it hit the hands of number 8 at the 31-yard line, and it bounced away. Nice pass by the quarterback.
Yeah. It was kind of hanging in the air there for a second, but not close enough to a Lakeland player to be able to get the interception.
DiLiello had pressure and rolled out to the right side and actually threw a beautiful pass right to number 8. Hit his hands and bounced away. And it'll bring up their second possession, second punt. Almost in the exact same spot.
Yeah. But please don't block this one. I want to see the offense. I want to see Mr. Thomas tonight.
Once again, Finley Graham has not been able to touch the ball yet, but at the 50-yard line this time, maybe a few yards up from where he was the previous punt attempt. Snap away, high.
Oh, bad
caught
snap.
Though, and nearly blocked again. Did
it
maybe
was.
partially get nicked
blocked
at the 31, but it's going to hit and bounce, and the Dreadnoughts will still have great field possession inside the Cowboy territory at about the 47.
We'll say 48. Dreadnoughts taking over on the Cowboy 48-yard line. Unlike the Kissimmee Cowboys, spelled the K Cowboys, the Cooper Cowboys spelled a C. So they do know their spelling down in Cooper City.
Already had Cowboys and Indians this year.
Yeah,
didn't quite get a hurricane.
Who's the Indian? Oh, yeah,
last week.
East Bay. Well, last week was hurricanes.
Yeah, that's what I said. We missed the hurricane. But,
that's true.
All right, first offensive try for the Knots, and Kavaris Thomas, his first attempt tonight in the shotgun formation. Fake handoff, fires low at the 50. It would have been behind the line, but still a forward pass.
Intended for Antonio Whitehead. A little bit low there on the wide receiver screen on the pass there from Kavaris Thomas. But even if he had called that, I don't think he was going anywhere. That was well defensed by the Cowboys.
Got to be difficult, Jeff, to get in a rhythm after now an hour and whatever you mentioned delay in and off, and you can't really warm up in 5 minutes. So almost warming up by playing out there, which this is again the first time the offense have played. Incomplete on first
Probably
down,
why
second
Coach Castle
10.
called it a little short pass there, first one.
Man in motion, cross the backside, inside handoff. Number 7 has some room, but there's a flag. So beautiful cut. Wow, look at the speed.
Touchdown.
Antonio Whitehead.
Antonio Whitehead is kind of an H-back, if you will, in Urban Meyer's offense. Receiver / running back. He's actually a backup quarterback also.
Well, that'll warm up the legs anyways.
False start.
False start
So
by
that's
the
coming
Knots.
back.
Boy, just barely as Coach Castle comes off and questions that call. I was watching the line as Coach Castle was. That was very small movement, if any. And Coach Castle having to bring his assistant coach off the field.
You got a lot of offensive weapons this year, Tim. The receiver position, you got 3 or 4 guys who can make plays for you.
Well, we didn't even see that speed 2 weeks ago that Whitehead just put on. So that's, as you said, that was a pretty decisive run, and say he made 2 cuts and no one really laid much of a hand on him. But all for naught, as we would say, back into Dreadnought territory. Second and 15 now after the 5-yarder, which really negated 7 or 6 points anyways. Spread man-to-man coverage for the Cowboys. 3 wide receivers near side, single set back. Handoff is to number 22, who is the young sophomore who put on a display last week.
DeMarcus Bowman. Big shoes to fill, A.J. Davis.
Yeah, Bowman is, good. Recognize that number. Had a lot of skills of Davis, bouncing off players a few weeks ago, Jeff, and kept his feet a few times. We thought he was going to be down, and then took one with some speed, 65 yards, so very capable in his own right. As number 4 and number 5 check in, Quadir Hall, and of course the quarterback Thomas getting to play from Coach Castle.
3rd and 17 here. Let's see what play Coach Castle draws up.
2 wide receivers this near side. Nice drop back. Looking deep. Thomas has time. Flick of the wrist. Has a man wide open and just in front of him. Thomas wants that one back because he had a man wide open crossing the field at the 30-yard line.
I think it's the tight end, Keon Zipper.
Oh.
Why, that should be a touchdown. That's one, like you said, that Thomas definitely wishes he had back. A flag on the play. Oh,
interesting.
Personal
Defensive
foul
holding
on the Cowboys. Personal foul, I think. So that's going to be a big play there for the Dreadnaughts.
And just enough. That should be exactly a first down.
No, it's 3rd and 17, so it might be.
Oh, just, you're right, 2 yards shy. Forgot they lost.
And
but an interesting decision now.
And unlike in, I believe college and pro, and a personal foul is an automatic first down, but in high school it's not an automatic first down, so it's 4th and 2.
Now with this big quarterback, Jeff, do you use that body to pound the quarterback in there for a few yards?
Quarterback draw, zone read option game, zone option run.
He maybe has the chance of handing it off or pitching it, but then could run off tackle and just bust a few yards. Let's see on 4th down and 2 what the Knots come up with, if it's a hard snap count or they just go ahead and snap it. Inside handoff. Number 7 is going to get caught behind the line and brought down, no gain, and they hold Whitehead.
Well, they tried that same play. They scored a touchdown. They got called back from the penalty, and that time the Cowboys were ready for it and sniffed it out, and he got tackled for a loss. So, unfortunately, be a change of possession here. The Cowboys would take over at their own 42.5-yard line.
Bit of a victory for the Cowboy defense there, holding the Knots on a 4th and 2 conversion attempt. And DiLiello will bring back his Cowboys 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line, their own 42. They spread 1 man each side.
There's plays to be made for Thomas tonight in the passing game. I think he'll settle down once it gets warmed up, and he should be able to hit some big plays, no doubt.
Offensive line moved 5 yards back.
It'd be interesting to see as the year goes along, assuming Kavaris Thomas has the kind of year that we all think is going to have, what kind of interest he gets from colleges. I would think he's definitely a college quarterback and quite possibly Division I. But we'll see how the season progresses.
1st and 15 after the penalty. DiLiello drops back, has some pressure, has to scramble left side, has a man out in the flat, wide open, but short hopped. Boy, that was one that the Cowboy quarterback wants back, because there was a ton of room in front of the wide receiver with no.
Both quarterbacks now have had some throws they definitely will have to do over. But not only is it the consistency of warming up, but also the ball's wet as well. Could be slipping out of their hands. Field's still wet. It's no longer raining, but.
I have to say, you know, Mark Brent, who was the intended receiver for the Cowboys, probably should have come up to get the ball a few yards. He kind of stood his ground, and it did short hop him. So he probably could have had a nice completion if he would have just took a few steps forward. Yeah, 2nd and 15 now still. As DiLiello drops back over the middle, crossing pattern, and number 24 has it picked off at the 40. Got some blocks at the 30. Down the sideline, no one's going to get him. Touchdown number 3, Finley Graham.
Finley Graham, the multi-purpose threat, offense and defense. He's a playmaker, Tim.
For the 2nd time, the first Kickoff Classic, we had a pick 6, and there Finley Graham keeps the streak going.
He's a sophomore
on defense.
People forget, you know, he was a freshman on the varsity last year. You think he's upperclassman, but he's only a sophomore. That ball was tipped, but it's actually not a bad throw by the quarterback.
It actually hit Mark Brent right in the hands, but
and
4 Dreadnaughts right around him, Jeff, and he got pummeled, and the ball literally just squirted into the hands of Finley Graham.
So we had a special teams touchdown, then we had a defensive touchdown. Can we see an offensive touchdown tonight?
That's an odd one, huh? The Dreadnaught defense brings it back after the offense was a little bit, I don't know if that was an intended fake to try to pick up.
No, I don't think that was an intended fake. I'm not sure what that was all about.
But the extra point will be no good, and the Dreadnaughts will hold it 13-0 with 6:21 remaining still in the first quarter. On a defensive touchdown, the Knots score some more points. We'll be right back after giving our sponsors some play. See you soon.
Why buy at Regal Chevrolet in Lakeland? We're family owned, serving Central Florida for 40 years with a new facility, including a new service department, exceptional service from a staff that gets it right the first time, a clean, comfortable customer lounge, and over 20 acres of our $8 million inventory, all priced to move. Last chance for model year-end savings. Shop online 24/7. Plus, we'll even deliver to your home or office. Trust Regal Chevrolet in Lakeland.
Back here at Bryant Stadium, after 2 rain delays, the Dreadnaughts come back out and have to kick off because they had left the field after they scored on the partially blocked punt after a couple of trade-offs of some unsuccessful offenses.
Jesse Williams has a leg, doesn't he?
Yeah, he did that all in the Kickoff Classic, and he's been just nearly perfect, and that's a great weapon. As you talked about the weapons, that's another one.
Absolutely. Give a shout out to Keith DeLoach.
Mr.
Big time
DeLoach.
Dreadnought fan, former player. He texted saying he's glad to see the game underway again. Go Knots. And what a great pick 6. Yes, it was, Tim. Exciting play there by the young playmaker, Finley Graham. This guy, Jesse Williams, is accurate, Tim. I mean, he'll be recruited by colleges, I would imagine, with that kind of a leg.
Lorenzo Brown, the wide receiver to the near side. DiLiello drops back, looks that direction, scrambles, tries to find him, has no room, is going to have to run, and gets caught at the 21.
Gets about I think they're going to mark it at 22, so a 2-yard gain there. You know, in college, you get a touchback goes to 25 on a kickoff, but in high school, it's still the 20-yard line. So although obviously football is football, there are some differences in the rules, of course, between high school, college, and the pros. That's our first water break of the night at 9:15 because of the weather delay.
Just want to remind everybody that we have the Booster Club meetings, Jeff, that are in fact on Tuesday night, because of the holiday, because of the Labor Day holiday, Tuesday night, September 5th at 7.
That's a new time. Last year, forever, it's been 7:30, so a new time this year.
Yeah, and the same old place, the LHS film room or the locker room, as many of you may know it.
And I still say that if you live in Lakeland and you've never been to a Booster Club meeting, especially if you're a Lakeland alumni, you have to do yourself a favor. It should be in your bucket list even. You got to go to a Booster Club meeting. It's quite the experience.
We mentioned Jersey Mike's earlier, but thanks to them again for coming up big for us, being the press box sponsor tonight and providing some sandwiches. Some great subs. DiLiello now.
That's some great lemon cookies down there this turnover.
Second and 8. Handoff inside. Nice defensive pursuit. Wraps him up behind the line.
Once again, see Robert Madden in the tackle, as you often do. Also, Jason Hampton, another linebacker, number 26.
Deshaun Nixon, the 10th grader, checks in for the Knots.
If ever there's a game, Tim, where you like to see a running clock, I think it's this one.
Yeah, right. Lorenzo Brown also, number 8. 15 is the far side cornerback, Anthony Yard. So some names that try to get you guys familiar with. Jaquarius Smith in the middle, linebacking position. (21). Madden, of course, name that you're familiar with. DiLiello, no one there. He's got to throw it away. He's chucked it up in the air. He had pressure. He went to hand it off. That was a broken play, and no one was around. And he paid for it.
He got nailed. No flag, though. It was not like hit, but he got hammered.
Good, clean hit. 4th down. Punting has not gone the Cowboys' way tonight with a few partially blocked punts. And Finley Graham would maybe like a returnable one, an option at the 50. A lot of that side of the field to work with. Standing at his own 6-yard line. See if a clean snap. Quarterback, rather punter, not a clean snap as the the yellow flags fly around.
False start.
There you go.
So another chance to punt even farther in the shadow of the end zone.
That punter looked small, number 25, but he's starting to look tinier and tinier as he gets Lucas Gross further away. He's got him at 5'6", 155. Timeout, Knots.
Want to give a quick shout out to some maybe future Dreadnaughts and big-time Dreadnought fans watching the game with Keith DeLoach, Michelle, Jake, and Max. Give a shout out to them as they're rooting on the Dreadnaughts tonight.
Good night just to settle in on a September 1st and watch a little Knot football here at Bryant Stadium.
Well, I don't know if it's a great night to watch a game at Bryant Stadium.
Well,
always great to watch football, but not a great night.
If you're at home hanging in there just on your comfy sofa or wherever you're at. So Finley Graham will go back out and get set. Now moving up around the 40-yard line, number 25.
The punting game's already been an adventure. Now you're punting from your 2-yard line. This is a disaster written all over it if you're a Cowboy fan.
Looking for a clean snap. And he gets it. And gets it off in a hurry and maybe rushed it a bit. Let's see what kind of bounce it takes. Not a bad hop, and did a decent job of giving the defense a little bit of room there. But the offense we want to see work now, Jeff, as they have yet to put points on the board.
Yeah, let's get the trifecta. Special teams, defense, and offense with touchdowns. Still 4:50 to go in the first quarter.
So if you, by some odd chance, are joining us for the first time or just have joined us, you're not seeing things. It's 9:22 Eastern time, and we are still 4:50 remaining in the first quarter after 2 weather delays.
Are we in the mountain time zone?
Yeah, right. Yes, we are.
All right, come on, offense.
Thomas, I formation, strong eye, nice handoff. Good block. There he goes, busting through the middle. No one's going to get him, number 22. There he goes again. DeMarcus Bowman. Strong run right up the gut.
That's a serious burst of speed he has there.
Yeah, doggy.
5'11", 185. He's got a bright future at him as only a sophomore. He might be faster than AJ.
Yeah, we saw Whitehead take off, and his touchdown got called back. That time, no flags, and Bowman was able to literally split the middle of the Cowboy defense and just outrun everybody.
No safety. I'm not sure where the safety was, but he wasn't where he's supposed to be, that's for sure.
JW with the kick. Jesse Williams, nice extra point. As your Knots now 20-0. They missed the last extra point, but the offense gets on the board. So special teams, defense, and offense have completed the trifecta here with 4:41. We'll be right back after this short message.
Good times, and all the flavor of New Orleans at Harry's Seafood Bar and Grill.
Hooked on Harry's, catchy little tune there.
It's my new favorite commercial, I think.
One of our sponsors. As you'll be seeing the Harry's Seafood halftime show here in 4 minutes. No, and actually,
yeah,
4 minutes plus another quarter. That was wishful thinking there as the flag flies on the kick.
Yeah, I still see Fred Lopez down there, so.
Yeah, he hung in there tough, huh?
I think he's going to hopefully still be here by the time we get to halftime, and he'll be the subject of our interview at the Harry's Seafood halftime show.
In a Where Are They Now segment.
You guys will talk about who's the better financial services advisor. We'll get Keith DeLoach up here, too.
Try to keep
have all three of you talk about that.
The battle. There's plenty of room. Oh, a little bit of a low kick, but still same result.
That was 5 yards farther back, too.
Yeah.
Was Jesse Williams a transfer, or was he at Lakeland last year?
I'm not sure if he was at Lakeland last year or not, but however he arrived, we'll be glad he is here.
Exactly. We'll take him.
He's doing a fabulous job. That was a question mark I had, and he answered it 2 weeks ago in the Kickoff Classic. Yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of shows you the chemistry in the team. You see the quarterback kind of jumping up and celebrating with the kicker. You don't see that very often. Sometimes kickers are kind of shunned by their teammates, but looks like Jesse is.
DiLiello going to get pressure from Finley Graham's going to have to let it go, and he has a receiver on the far sideline.
That's a nice throw there.
Yeah, it is a good throw.
He's got a good arm.
Picks up the first down, chains move. Probably his best completion tonight of about 14 yards. Ball out to 35.
On the move, too, as he's rolling out to his right.
Not an easy throw when the feet are moving quickly. It's hard to set sometimes, but had a good zip on the ball. Cowboys down 20-0, 3 scores. Number 7 drives in for the lead block and then hands off to the running back for 5 yards. Number 12, Arthur Breffel, 11th grade running back.
A power run right in the middle. At this point, if you're the Cooper City coaches, you'd love to see a prolonged drive.
We all would.
We haven't seen any drives.
Time-killing drive. 2nd and 5. Solid first down for the Cowboys. Bit of a high snap and whistles blow.
It'll probably be a false start, offside, something like that.
Jeremiah Johnson for the Knots was upset that play didn't continue. He thought he had a clear shot at the quarterback.
We've already seen several false starts tonight. It's still the first quarter. I think that was the 3rd one of the game already.
So 5 yards on first down gets erased. Still second down and 10. Rolling out, looking, has a man cutting down to the 50. Nice catch. That was a well-placed ball. Nice
throw too.
Yeah.
And that time he was rolling out to his left and had to throw back against his body.
Yeah.
Great job.
But there is a flag. DiLiello is going to unfortunately be penalized for holding on his team. Ouch, that hurts. Back-to-back penalties drives them back to the 25. Pretty timing pattern, though. Always good to see that communication between a quarterback and receiver.
We were talking about Keon Zipper earlier when he almost made that catch because the ball was a little bit underthrown. He couldn't quite get to it. But he is actually, by some recruiting services, ranked the #1 tight end in the class of 2019.
Wow.
The Gators are recruiting him, and he's supposedly very interested in Florida.
So actually back at the 22-yard line, a 2nd and 24 to go. DiLiello is going to get pressure from Finley Graham, and he gets wrapped, and he throws the ball out of bounds as a result of getting hit hard. And clean hit, nothing wrong with that at all. He still had the ball.
Finley is all over the field, isn't he, Tim?
You know, old Chris Rainey, even though he used to love to obviously run the ball, he I think actually had more joy about hitting other quarterbacks. And so they would put him on the end a lot like that, especially on kickoffs or kicks and try to block the kicks. So it just gave me a flash.
Did he ever actually play defense or just special teams? I know
they snuck him in every once in a while, but
Finley Graham,
he
plays offense, defense. He's a punt returner. He's out there a lot.
Huge burst of speed now, and that forced incomplete pass puts the Cowboys in a 3rd and 24. Shotgun formation, right side rollout, and nothing.
The design quarterback draw there. 4th and a short cab right now, so they're going to punt the ball, which is always an adventure.
Well, they have punted now within 2 or 3 yards of this exact spot every time. I'd bring, if you're not going to return it anyways, if you're that far back, I would bring Finley Graham up even another. Coach Castle just said that, come up even more. Yeah. Because of the pressure and the last success so far, if you're not going to run it back anyways, if it goes over your head, no big deal. Just let it go.
If they punt it over you,
so off chance you catch a short one and you can run it back. So Coach Castle did bring him up. And just a nice fair catch at the 39.
They brought him up just about the right area. If he actually had not fair called that, he might have been able to return it.
I think the coverage man ran past him and wouldn't have even been in the play. As Kavaris Thomas will come back on. Now with
if I told you before the game, back about 3 hours ago, that Lakeland would be up 20-0 with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter, and Thomas would be 0 for 2 passing. What would you think about that? Would you believe that?
I'd say, how about what? How'd that happen?
A little surprised.
But that's where we are. 1st and 10, Thomas, roll out, nice drop back, looking deep, has a man, number 12, and it's dropped in the end zone. Maybe it was too easy for Daquan Lawson.
That one
couldn't have been
was a great throw.
Yeah,
that's his best throw of the night.
Better.
Right there. It should have been a touchdown. So he wanted a throw. He let it have back, and that one it dropped. He should have 2 touchdown passes right now.
Lawson didn't have to break stride. He just simplest and hardest thing to do, just catch the ball when you're wide open.
Last night, the receiver for Ohio State had a couple of drops, including one just like that, a drop in the end zone of a beautifully thrown ball. He finally ended with a 70-something-yard touchdown pass in the 3rd quarter, but he was fighting the drops in the first half.
I'll see if Daquan can make up for it. Here's the handoff this time to Bowman, who busts his way for about 7.5, 8 yards on a second down.
Either way, he ran him over there.
A little bit of a skirmish
Number 4 is
going
trying
on.
to talk trash. Landon Segarra, why don't you just look at the scoreboard? I don't think you need to be talking trash right now. It's 20-0.
Good hard pounding run on 2nd down. Bring up a
3rd and 3. Very manageable. Tonight's game brought to you by Barrett Creative. If you have any needs for a video or website, Barrett Creative is the place you want to call.
3rd and 3, handoff inside, quick pop. Number 4 breaks the initial line. Defense gets out near the 20 and picks up the easy first down.
Kadar Hall, the backup running back, the sophomore. So your top 2 running backs are both sophomores.
That's good, right? They mature together, and Hall picks up.
They're all walking side by side. Hall is a little bit small. He's 5'10", 185. Bowman, 5'11", 185. So about the same, actually. But I tell you, looking at them walking side by side, Bowman definitely not big. I guess he's an inch taller, but the same weight. He looked to me a little bit bigger than that.
So the quick handoff works for the first down. 1st and 10, just under a minute to play. Number 22, Bowman, wide open once again, straight up the middle. Boy, Castle must be seeing something in that interior line as Jeff just said, looked way too easy, and we'll take it. Maybe we'll get that running clock sometime, Jeff.
You remind him at 34 now, we might have to wait one more score to get to the running clock. Although if they make score here, the next touchdown go for 2. Yeah.
JW, a little bit of a low snap, but handled nicely. Nice composure. Nails the naughty Tron and tacks on the extra point with 39 seconds.
Honestly, I wonder if they, if it gets to running clock, do they maybe not play the second half? With, I don't
know, might
they
be
get a long drive to back home to Cooper City.
Might be up to
and
Cooper
the field's
City
kind of
coach.
wet, not great condition,
Naughts are taking the field quickly, so we'll just keep it right here. As you see, number 22, the sophomore running back.
Marcus Bowman is a very good one.
Not bad, huh? I was too for a sophomore. The first couple runs I was a little iffy, but then he broke one down the sideline and then bounced off a couple defenders. I was like, okay, we got something. And he's continued that pattern, so that's no fluke as Williams start calling him the given, the sure thing, sure-footed one. As again, boots it strong, deep.
I don't think Lakeland needs to practice their kickoff coverage all year.
That's great.
Everyone's going to be going in the end zone for a touchback, I tell you that.
It's one of those things, Jeff, you still have to kind of be on your toes, because if he happens to slip up and not get one and they have a run back, they don't want to get complacent.
They're not going to know what to do.
They've got to be ready.
Wait
a minute, someone's got the ball. DeLiello, Daquan Lawson is single set back. 3 wide receivers. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. DeLiello throws it out.
Wide receiver screen, nicely executed there by
Mark Brandt, number 24.
Cowboys get about 5 yards there. Corey Smith in on the tackle. The linebacker, the senior linebacker for Lakeland.
Brett with a nice grab as we approach the end of the first quarter. They may get the play off. It looks like they're content to take the time off and let the first quarter expire. And that will indeed be the end of the first quarter with your Dreadnaughts. After a, 2.5 hour first quarter, are up 27-0 here at Bryant Stadium in the home opener of the 2017 season. We'll go ahead and take it to a commercial break, and we'll be right back with you here.
I'm Doug Bernetti, and I've lived in this area most of my life. Just one look at the interstate says it all. More people mean more cars, and that means more accidents. It could happen to you. And when it does, you may not be ready. But at Bernetti, PA, we're ready. We have done this every day for over 20 years. We fight to recover compensation for our clients' car repairs, medical bills, and lost wages. Plus, we deal with the insurance companies so clients can get back on the road. Call 1-800-BERNETTI. We're ready.
Bartow Ford is proud to announce that we've won the President's Award for the 19th time. You would need to leave the state of Florida to find a dealer that's won it more. Sales volume and customer satisfaction is how you win, And let's face it, you wouldn't sell a lot of vehicles if you didn't offer the lowest price around and take care of customers the very best. But why don't I have them up on the wall? Because a long time ago, my father taught me that our people are what make the difference. Other dealerships, they can have their gimmicks and games. We'll take people that care. Bartow Ford, we're different, and we prove it.
Back at Bryant Stadium, DiLiello, 3 yards deep, drops back, looks across the middle, fires it, and nearly picked off. Wow. Number 24, Mark Brent, was his intended target again, and it bounced off his hands at about the 32. And one of the cornerbacks was in wait for the Knots, just licking his chops, and nearly had another interception.
He had some mustard on that pass, Tim.
Some heat. It's a spicy mustard.
For sure.
Just shy of the 25. 3rd and 6. Familiar position for the Cowboy offense, trying to pick up a mid to long 3rd down conversion. Again, rolling out left side. DiLiello getting pressure, having to look, finally flick the wrist. Nice catch. I don't know how he was in between 2 defenders. One kind of went shallow and the other was behind Mark Brent, but he was able to catch it for a 1st down to keep the drive moving.
Senior quarterback of the Cowboys has got quite a bit of talent.
Been impressed,
Very,
especially on the
mobile,
run.
yeah, on
that
the run,
pressure is not easy to do.
Accurate and
Kobe Simmons, the receiver to this near side, 2 spread each way. Single set back, flick it out quickly to number 24, Brent again, who getting dangerously close to doing the tip drill to a Knot
interception
again.
on the tip drill.
Seems to be comfortable with Mr. Brent, number 24 over there. Having a little success going back to the well there. Football season in full swing as the college season got underway officially Thursday night. And a lot of big games for some opening games, Mr. Goddard. A lot of people, obviously, Florida State, Alabama, exciting stuff. Handoff, right side, Dreadnought pursuit at the 40.
The first game played at the Mercedes-Benz Dome.
Yeah.
The new stadium of the Falcons. Although I guess the Falcons may have had a preseason game there already.
Carlos Betts cuts him down. And
the
of course, the
playing
Gators,
in
Michigan.
Jerry's World out in
Jerry's
Dallas.
place.
So both Florida and Florida State playing the 2 biggest games tomorrow, both neutral site games.
Good 2nd down run. 3rd and short. Have to get something cooking. 27-0 down a bunch are the Cowboys. Don't want to go home 2.5 hour drive with a goose egg on the board, Jeff. That's not a
That'd be a rough ride home, no
not a
doubt.
good feeling. I formation, quick pop, number 9. The Bull gets a good 1st down push.
Had a head of steam there.
4 or 5 yards, 1st down. A few yards shy of midfield. We'll pick up a fresh set of downs for the Cowboys. Well, the crowd has thinned a little, not unlike Fred Lopez and my hair after the last 20 years. Still a few faithful hanging out, seeing the Dreadnaughts play and putting some points up on the board. The quarterback keeper, and wow,
Whoa.
Smack. Ow. There's a fan behind me
That hurt.
saying we heard that one up here. I heard that through the headphones.
A.J. Thomas, the junior defensive lineman, and the mysterious number 76, whoever that is, who we do not have him on our roster. They combined to make that tackle.
That was a half of a slobber knocker. I'm not going to give that a full one, but it was close. I'm saving that just a little bit longer. 2nd down and 10. Again, spread field, wide receivers all over the place. Quarterback keeper trying to follow the block of
Zone read
12.
there.
Yeah, Arthur Breffel. But
that has not worked at all for the Cowboys.
No.
That Lakeland defense has been well prepared for every time he tries to run the ball. Coach Baldini does a great job as a Dreadnought defensive coordinator. Always has his charges focused and ready to play.
Jeremiah Johnson, Branson Brown, number 96, also kind of leading the charge on the defensive line.
Gene.
DiLiello trying to make something happen on a 3rd and down. Is going to drop back deep, get pressure straight up the middle, and have to let it fly. Caught by number 8. Crosses over the middle, and he's gone. Boy, the defense got crossed up. I don't know how he got free. There were knots all over the place, but that pass was right where it had to be with tons of pressure in the face of DiLiello. Delivered a beautiful pass.
Kobe Simmons, the senior wide receiver, gets the Cowboys on the board.
Wow, that was well deserved. I have to tell you, that was a beautiful pass.
He hit him in stride, and he just kept on going. And Dreadnaughts kind of got in each other's way almost there, and he was off to the races. And once again, how do you say his name, Jim?
DiLiello.
DiLiello, he took a shot there, but delivered the ball right on target.
Makes you feel better when you see your receiver running down for a touchdown after you take a hit.
Oh, yeah. You pop up really quick to celebrate that.
The punter, number 25, is also the kicker, trying to tack on the extra point, and
that's going to be
just enough.
Oh, well, I thought it was wide left. I guess he snuck it just inside the left goalpost.
Well, the secondary did not look graceful on that play, I would say, is a nice way of putting it. But a beautiful pass and a good catch ensued, and not give up some points, Jeff.
They got a lot of talent in this offense, this Cooper City, so you definitely didn't expect the Dreadnaughts to pitch a shutout or anything.
And they're happy to erase the 0. So
they're definitely struggling running the ball against us. Not very much success, but they are having some success passing them on. They actually would have had more success except for some drop passes and some, actually tips that led to interceptions. At least one interception.
As actually being in the second quarter, again, since we deferred when we won the coin toss, and then the way it transpired with the scoring, this is the actually first kickoff attempt for the Cowboys, putting points on the board. I would bring those guys up about 20 yards. Just a hunch.
Are you
kicker
basing it off of the punts?
At the 40. Yeah.
You're correct, my friend.
Caught at the 16, trying to come across the field. Number 2 is going to stiff arm and run out of bounds at about the 33.
Jaquarius Smith, the linebacker, with a rare kickoff return.
I was going to say, he didn't look
He's loving life, man. I've never got to return a kickoff.
He was happy,
before.
but didn't look like he was too much in a hurry to get to the other end zone. He was just kind of trotting his way and was planning a stiff arm all the way. But good field position at the 34.
I remember when I was at Mercer, when I went to college, one of the girls' basketball players was from Cooper City. I think her name was Kate Bosma, if I'm not mistaken.
2 wide receivers set. Bowman in the running back slot's going to get the ball. Good move, shifty moves, still on his feet, breaks free, 50. Are you kidding me? 40, Bowman down to the 30. Look at Bowman go, no one's going to get him. Touchdown. I'm going to say Mr. Bowman.
Tonight, Tim, is the DeMarcus Bowman show. And it just goes to show how off my analysis was tonight. I said we'll probably have to pass the ball more. I got to just hand the ball off to Bowman.
Give him a little confidence, Jeff. And,
Bowman to the left, Bowman to the right.
That's not a bad thing now to have in your back pocket with the running game and passing game coming together tonight. That's a pretty thing to watch.
Has Kavaris Thomas completed a pass yet tonight?
Well, that's true.
I don't think he has.
I mean, it's been close, right? It's the old close but no cigar. I mean, we've had a couple of chances where we should have.
Had 2 passing touchdowns. One, he was off a little bit. The next time, he laid in the money, and we had a drop.
Cannons go as Jesse Williams skirts it through, and we go back up now 34-7. So, in essence, erasing that touchdown by the Cowboys was Mr. Bowman in a hurry. We'll take a brief timeout and be right back with you here with 8:37 remaining in the second quarter.
A warranty with unlimited miles. Regal Kia in Lakeland is Central Florida's only family-owned dealership to offer a lifetime warranty on every new Kia sold for as long as you own your vehicle. Regal is Lakeland's volume Kia dealer with over 250 new Kias available. Online at regalkia.com. We offer a family buying experience in our spacious new facility and exceptional service with pickup and delivery after the sale. Serving Central Florida for 40 years. See why so many people trust Regal Kia next to Lakeland High School.
All right, back. Jesse Williams getting a leg workout once again. We would love to say that every game. It means Dreadnaughts are putting points on the board. 8:37 still left in this first half. And now kicking south to north. That one's going to be returnable.
Wow,
so the
barely in the half-yard line.
Special teams that, whoa, Brent gets upended at the 20, so just about the same as number 10 for the Knots is down, Philip Sloan.
I was going to use that phrase too, upended.
Not sure.
Junior linebacker Philip Sloan. That could be bad news. That looks like maybe a non-contact injury. Those are usually the worst kind.
That old turf can reach up and grab you. If you get that cleat or something caught the wrong way, ankles and knees can be in peril on this turf, which is, from what we can tell, from holding up nicely over the years now since it's been put in here at Bryant Stadium, Bill Castle Field. Seems to be in a little bit of pain though, as trainers are gonna get him on his feet and test it out.
See Coach Castle and Boldini out there checking on their player.
Looks like that old knee ankle kind of deal like we just talked about, that not putting now any pressure as he's being led off to the bench. 34-7 on a fantastic run by number 22, DeMarcus Bowman. High snap. DiLiello getting pressure, lets it go again and trying
intercepted
to get it. Finley Graham. Lots of room to the right side. Finley just got to dodge one player. He's got a lot of open room now, and he's going to put it into the end zone. Finley Graham on a pick six, the second of the night.
Wait a second. They have not signaled touchdown. I think he may have dropped the ball before he crossed the goal line. I have not seen the referees raise their hands yet.
They're conferring.
I think he dropped the ball before he crossed the goal line. They're talking right now.
At the 1.
Hold your cannons there, folks. That may not be a touchdown.
Hold the guns.
Let's see what they're going to say.
They're going to talk it over. They're going to come way over and talk to Coach Castle and let him know. No, they're going to let it go.
It's a touchdown. Maybe the referee's just hurting his arms too much, having to raise his hand so much. So he decided not to do it. It was close. It was definitely close.
And if we
not
pick up
quite to the level of Leon Lett.
Yeah, if we pick up this extra point, we'll have the Mike Barrett situation in effect. The 34-point lead with 8:15 remaining in the second quarter.
At this rate, we're going to have no problem having a 35-point lead at halftime. It's 8:15 to go.
Yeah, it would seem so. 41-7 your score. We'll give some more time to our sponsors and be back
Two pick sixes
with
in the first half for Finley Graham.
Finley Graham. Stay with us.
No cash, no problem. Wave and save at Regal Kia in Lakeland. Buy now and Regal Kia will make your monthly payments till next year. Shop over 500 vehicles online at regalkia.com with delivery to your home or office. Act now and drive your choice. New 2017 Kia Soul, only $144 a month. Or new 2017 Kia Optima, just $147 a month. Plus, we offer a lifetime warranty. Wave and save. Family owned for over 41 years. Trust Regal Kia.
Sal says yes. You pay less.
Back at Bryant Stadium, Jesse Williams set to kick off again. Number 51 during that break was being led off the field on the extra point. Alik St. Aim, maybe it looks like, again, an ankle, possibly knee injury for him. So we don't want those even small injuries to mount.
So 3 offensive touchdowns, all courtesy of Bowman, and then 2 pick sixes by Graham and
a
one
special teamer.
Special teams.
That's kind of what happened in the Kickoff Classic, Jeff. It kind of came from all angles and all ways.
I'm telling you, we could be honest with me here. The Lakeland could set a record for the most points ever scored in a high school football game with no completed passes.
There it goes. Williams this time's not going to let number 24 return the ball.
He probably got in trouble on the sideline.
What are you doing?
How did you not kick it in the end zone? Come on.
We don't care that he didn't pick up any yards. We still want to see you kick it in there. So you're right. He may have gotten a.
I tell you, this new parking garage over here for the Lakeland Regional Medical Center is kind of fancy looking. Looks nice. They did a good job building
kind of old looking signage. Nice looking.
Yeah, retro.
Yeah. They continue to build and expand the Lakeland Regional Medical Center campus.
There we go. The DE garage.
DiLiello in a big hole, 41-7, quarterback keeper straight up the middle, and
a fumble
on the play. Ball hits the
Lakeland
ground.
has it, I think.
I see lots of people diving. Yeah, I think Cowboys recovered.
Yeah, Lakeland, the first player had a chance to recover it was a Dreadnaught, but it squirted loose when he fell on the ball, and then the Cowboys recovered it. He's taking a lick tonight, isn't he, Tim?
Yeah, he's brave. I mean, he's going in there. Yeah, right. Michael Barrett just said the smallest guy in the pile came up with the ball. He found the little seam there, Michael, and
it's
was
not
able
the
to
size of the dog in the fight, but the fight in the dog.
There you go.
Get that fumble. You're only down by 34 points.
I was hoping you'd end that well. 7:33 remaining. DiLiello fake and pitch to number 8 again, who he had that nice touchdown catch earlier.
I was just talking slow because I don't want to have a mixed metaphor there. I was afraid I was going to
gotta watch what you say, right?
I was afraid I was going to butcher it there.
Kobe Simmons again, who is the only receiver to be successful as far as getting in the end zone tonight for the Cowboys. Comes up short, 3rd down and 2. Had some success on the fumble, advanced the ball forward, but now, again, a 3rd down conversion with wide receivers spreading the field to this near side, 3 of them. Quarterback keeper once again, and he's going to break the 3.5, 4-yard mark to pick up the 1st down.
That was the most success they've had in his own read so far tonight.
Not much fancy there. They're using
DiLiello.
Yeah, he's starting
walking a little gingerly there.
Gimpy a little bit. He's taking, as Jeff said, a bunch of
toll,
shots.
no doubt.
It's kind of like the old fight last week there, where we just kind of slowly toyed with them, Mayweather, and then just started landing some punches. They're hitting some good punches.
Another water break. Time to go visit your hydration station.
Let's go ahead and go to commercial with 6:28 remaining in the first half. Dreadnaughts up 41-7.
Submit your A's and B's to Bartow Ford for your chance to win a new Mustang. Visit DriveForExcellence.com for official rules. The 25th annual Drive for Excellence with Bartow Ford. We're different, and we prove it.
Back on the field, we have another injury. It seems like every time we're going away, another just injury to report. Philip Sloan, the 11th grade linebacker, 6'2", 205. Has an ice pack on the knee, so hopefully just minor injuries on a 1st and 10 fresh set of downs for DiLiello as he finds his go-to guy, number 8, now Kobe Simmons on the left side. Nice pickup of 9 or maybe 10.
Lakeland's got to get a stop here, get some more points so they can get that 34
I know, right?
point. If we hadn't had that botch hold and snap, we'd already have a 35-point lead. I just now noticed that Cooper City has their numbers on their helmets on one side and the logo on the other side. That's kind of cool.
kind of a throwback. I like it. Was a first down pickup on the completion to Simmons. Going that direction again and dropped this time. Heard the pitter-patter of.
That's the classic trying to run before you catch the ball.
Yeah, he did.
No doubt
Tried
about
to
it.
do something too soon. You're going to figure that out pretty quick when they keep going. It's right now, it's quarterback keeper, throw to Simmons, or throw to Mark Brent. That's kind of the 3 plays that they've got circulating right now.
They haven't handed off to running back in quite a while.
2nd and 10. See if they keep with that pattern of one of those 3. They did finally hand off. And that's why they probably haven't handed off much. No gain. Stacked up by 3 or 4 knots.
There was a plethora of knot defenders. I think Jaquarius Smith was one of the ringleaders that time. Looked like I saw Mr. Madden in there as well.
I wonder if Fenley Graham were happened to sneak one more pick 6 in before the half, if that would be a record. That would have to, I would think that would be some kind of.
Probably so.
It's pretty rare to have 3 sometimes in a season if you're one player, but 3 pick 6s and a half would be pretty impressive.
Pretty amazing.
3rd and 9, forced to go for the pass is DiLiello. Drops left side, pressure again, tries to find the seam to number 24 and was unable to do it this time. Incomplete.
Under heavy pressure again, got hit and overthrew that one.
So plenty of time, Jeff, to put some points on the board here to get up more than 35.
I'd like to see Kavaris Thomas do a touchdown pass to do it.
That would be nice. We haven't had that. We need that in the mix. The highlight reel is looking good tonight, though. It's looking very.
You want to go to the Booster Club meeting Tuesday night, you're going to see a great highlight reel, no doubt about it.
Mr. Fenley Graham set. He keeps sneaking up just a little bit each time. Now watch him bomb it like 60 yards. Now he's getting. Was able to catch it and try to reverse field and pick up some blocks. He's going to be brought down. Nice tackle by number 6. That could have been sayonara.
He had some open green grass the opposite side of the field as he cut towards it.
Ben just grabbed his shirt.
Holding on for dear life. Great individual effort by
Ben Driggers.
Ben Driggers. But actually, they have him placed perfectly. He didn't have to move. The punt went right to him. He literally didn't have to move to catch it. They got a read on him and how far he's punting, that's for sure.
Kavaris Davis, as Jeff said, would love to make good on a touchdown pass. 2 wide receivers to try to do that here, and he's going to drop back and look deep for one. He's got lots of room and a man wide open, but he's going to have to come back to the ball. Nice catch, caught. It's not going to be a touchdown, but it's going to be a long pass down around the 15-yard line. And beautiful over-the-shoulder catch by Whitehead.
Antonio Whitehead, great catch.
There's a late flag way
That's
down.
going to be on Antonio because he got up and he kind of flexed and stood over the defensive back. So that's going to be a 15-yard penalty from the 15-yard line. So Lakeland's going to probably have the ball 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line of the Cowboys.
That's one of those good job, but yeah. That was a showboat and a houseboat all in one. That was the double boats.
Not smart. But still a 1st down, though, for the Dreadnaughts.
Didn't actually put quite enough under it, Jeff. So it was an underthrown ball by Kavaris Thomas a little bit, but still nice.
I think he put too much under.
Too much height. Didn't get it enough downfield.
But as you said, great adjustment there by Whitehead.
Both receivers were actually wide open on that play on a 1st down now, fresh set, roll out.
That's holding.
Thomas is going to escape it. Look at how he just eludes. Now he's going to run and pick up a block, get pushed out of bounds, but he
the
picks
flag
up a
on
few
the
yards.
play, that's going to be holding on the Cowboys. He mugged the Dreadnought receiver.
Good pickup there, Mr. Goddard.
Yeah, you had to call that. He probably declined it as the first down anyways on the run. He picked up about, well, I guess he picked up just right at 10 yards. So
that was a very good example of how Thomas, if need be, can run the ball and be effective. He's not super fast because of his size, but doesn't need to be. He's got that size, so if he rumbles and picks up 10 yards, that's all you need him to do. If he eludes a
yeah, I don't think you can see that many design runs with him, but he can clearly take on scramble.
He's able to scramble and, again, make a good decision, not force anything, and still pick up a first down with his legs.
First down and 10 for the Dreadnaughts at the Cowboy 19-yard line.
So does he do one of those prototypical Castle corner routes? Strong eye with Bowman and Hall. He's going to get some pressure, but he still takes time, has a man wide open and missed. Whitehead right across the middle, but that's what I love about Thomas is just even with people all over him, still just had the pressure and flicked his wrist and easily got it to Whitehead over the middle.
That's a big-time play there by him.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's the kind of things the next level look at.
Exactly.
Jeff, what you said right there. Those kind
That's very appetizing to college scouts, no doubt about it.
So not Thomas's fault why he hasn't had a touchdown pass tonight. That was the third one that should have.
Well, one of them was a bit of a bad throw, but the last two definitely were.
Second down and 10, handoff this time to Bowman, who has some room again. Are you kidding me? Bowman's going to waltz in for his fourth.
He's got that
touchdown.
He's got shakes. He's got the jukeability. Got a decent amount of power, and he's definitely got a speed.
I mean, this is going to be a problem for defensive teams against the Dreadnaughts because, you're having to worry so much about Thomas when you watch the film, and now you got to also keep your eye on this kid.
We got a lot of weapons this year. As long as the offensive line can stay healthy and do their part, the sky's the limit for this offense.
Castle talking to Whitehead, say, okay, what happened? How come you didn't catch it? Let's get it right next time. Jesse Williams with still nearly 4 minutes left in the first half. Wow, this is a long game.
I guess you can't do the running clock in the second half. Is that right?
I don't know. 48-7 your score. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
No cash? No problem. Wave and save at Regal Kia in Lakeland. Buy now and Regal Kia will make your monthly payments till next year. Shop over 500 vehicles online at regalkia.com with delivery to your home or office. Act now and drive your choice. New 2017 Kia Soul, only $144 a month. Or new 2017 Kia Optima, just $147 a month. Plus, we offer a lifetime warranty. Wave and save. Family owned for over 41 years. Trust Regal Kia.
Sal says yes, you pay less.
Back at Bryant Stadium. I'm glad Jesse Williams hasn't formed cramps yet. He's been active, to say the least, in the first half. So this kind of begins the question to you, Jeff Goddard, with 48-7 with 3:56. Do you just go ahead and keep, as number 24 gets dropped there at the 24, do you keep your starters in just for the first half and then start bringing in some second and third teamers?
Absolutely. If there is a second half, I'm not convinced they can play the whole game with how late it is and everything. But yeah, if you do
the Knights put on another 7, you're right. They may have a discussion about just calling it at that.
But I do think absolutely you got to get the backups, and you definitely don't want anybody to get hurt on a field that's wet,
Cowboys going to give it a last flurry.
It's going to be a fun year this year, Tim.
Yeah. We got some good.
Especially the
the defense.
Offensive playmakers.
Right, and the defense making things happen. They seem to have a couple of those guys like they do every once in a while that just seem to always have a head for the ball, and they're around at all times. And they tried to work the outside line that time with the same wide receiver, Simmons, who has some ability nonetheless, but they're really blanketing him now, Jeff. They're not leaving him alone at all.
That's a good Boldini adjustment there.
Okay, we're just confirmed that coaches do have to agree for a running clock to start in the first half. It's an automatic in the second half if it's still that 35-point differential, but we're going to have a shortened, nice hit by number 76 on the defensive line there to drop the running back, but we're going to have a shortened halftime of only 10 minutes here this game because of the weather delays that we've had in the late time frame. So we'll have a pretty short Harry Seafood halftime show. A couple quick questions to Lopez, or we could bring him back another time. Depends on what he would want to do.
Hopefully Fred will come over right as the first half ends. Yeah, we still have 10 minutes to fill. We can get an interview in there.
No, it's plenty of time. Long third down, 13, DiLiello trying to find Simmons, but no one there. And then pick. Oh, I was going to say picked off.
Interception.
15, was that Anthony Yard?
Yeah. Great effort there by Anthony.
Gave up the body, went flying on the sideline to try to get the interception to bring up a fourth down. Still plenty of time left.
We're going to go for the double nickel before the half.
Well, you can't say it hasn't been full of some big plays if you've been watching at home, wherever you're at on this September 1st Friday night.
Big playability, no doubt about that. Remember, folks, this team that we're playing at Cooper City, district champions last year, 10-2. A lot of their players back, and Lakeland is just honestly toying with him tonight.
A little bit
That's
better,
his best punt of the night by
this
far.
time, but still fielded by
Graham.
Number 3, Graham, who reverses field, now has some blocks. Can he get past the tackle? No, it's good pursuit and coverage there just outside the 30. It looked like after reverse field he was going to have 3 or 4 blockers, but number 2 was able to sneak in there, Nathan Barnes.
A little bit gimpy there, though. Finley's came up a little bit gimpy.
Yeah, that's what you definitely want to avoid.
He is an explosive athlete, no doubt.
It's like an ankle again. You know, this turf claiming some victims now. We've had number 10, number 51.
He got tackled kind of hard
Finley
there.
Graham, yeah. O-line comes up. Spread receivers. Lawson and number 6, but they hand off to the second running back, number 4, Hall.
Got a couple yards there, but not too much cooking for Hall.
It's almost like Coach Castle may want to run some clock and then score. Let's not score too quick here.
Yeah, I would definitely think you're going to see all the backups out there for the second half.
And hopefully we'll make up a little time with the running clock. If
you can see the trainer down there working on Finley Graham.
Yeah, you can tell it was an ankle. They're going to retape it a little bit. And that may have been something he had in practice and just re-aggravated. Is a handoff again to Hall, who's going to try to break a tackle, and he does. He skirmishes around. Oh, boy, look at him go. That was a crazy little jittery run, I'd say, but it worked.
That's as good as a 4-yard run as you'll see all season. Like old Barry Sanders
run. He broke
run
like 6 tackles in a span of 3 yards there. He'll still be a yard shy of the first down marker. And number 25 will check in.
If we don't get a first down, I'd like to see him try Jesse Williams at kick a field goal.
Name we mentioned a few times last year as the backup. Makai
He's
Marbra.
been usurped by 2 sophomores on the depth chart.
He has. No, they give it to Hall again, and he tried to get to the line. It's going to be close. They gave him forward progress, first down.
Yeah, I think he got it. First down for the Dreadnaughts.
Clock will stop temporarily just for the chains to move with 1:13 remaining in the first half. And we are past 10 o'clock. Normally we're heading to the homestead.
Yes, sir.
I'm already grabbing my post-game snack at this point in my comfy chair, but we're still here at Bryant Stadium. Nice fake, but someone didn't bite. No problem for Thomas, though, and he's going to throw it.
Open.
Nice flick, wide open. Caught this time. Number 12. There you go, Daquan Lawson. And that's what I'm talking about, just the patience of Thomas. No panic in him, even though he had someone right in his face. Waited for the receiver Lawson to clear and just flicked it out to him. Perfect.
He could just brush guys off.
That's what I'm saying. He just like it's looking like it's nothing for him.
That's a flea. And then he like I said, keeps his calm, and going against his body, throws a perfect pass to a wide open receiver in the end zone.
He's confident in his strength and ability to elude those.
One thing that I see
defenders.
different about this year's team, besides obviously he's a great talent, is Kavaris Thomas. And obviously you lose A.J. Davis, but you're replacing him with a very talented young player in Bowman.
So we're going to go for the 2-point conversion with a very unorthodox looking pass to Sean Graham.
But the thing, Tim, is that we have more. Really, since I've been doing the webcast, this is the most depth we've had at a wide receiver position. You know, we have, of course, you lost James Robinson, who's a huge talent, but we have 3 or 4 very talented guys. So it's kind of like pick your poison. You know, you're not going to be able to focus on one guy. You have a very talented quarterback. You can make all the throws, and now you have, like I said, 3 or 4 weapons. Not to mention one of the best tight ends in the
and then Bowman,
and one of the best tight ends in the country. And then you have Bowman. So I mean, all you gotta do is block.
Well, it's a dream for Coach Castle because the playbook can be really extended. Yeah, it can be really opened up, as you said.
Playbook is wide open, no doubt about it.
So he can go back in those years and find successful plays for the tight end, successful plays for the back, successful plays for, a quarterback that can scramble. And I don't think he needs to break out the option. That doesn't even need to happen since we got such a good passer.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be doing very many design runs, if any.
Under a minute to go here as Mr. Williams is going to come up a little bit short that time. So, again, returnable by Brent. It's going to go straight up the middle and tripped up by 26. Nice play on special teams by Jason Hampton.
One of the linebackers making a big special teams tackle. I think sometimes I think maybe even Jesse Williams is trying to kick the ball with more hang time, work on that. Plus, got to give your kickoff coverage a little bit of practice.
So we'll see if Mr. Lopez pops up for a brief little halftime interview. Just a good few minutes to catch up with him and see how he's doing. Handoff number 12, left side. Pursuit by the Knots, number 2, in particular, first on Jaquarius Smith.
Looks like Jaquarius is poised to have a big senior year from the linebacker position, if tonight's any indication. That could be the last play of the first half. Let's see if the Cowboys hustle to get another playoff.
Stadium announcer just called him Jack Smith.
Yeah, I think that's what he likes to go by, but you got to keep your eyes on the Cooper City coach to see if he waves the white flag across the field at Castle.
First half, finally. Wow, comes to an end at 10:16 Eastern Time. The first half comes to an end with the Knots leading 54-7, well in control. We'll see how they handle this second half, if they're just going to go ahead and come out with a running clock, or if they decide to end this thing and send the Cowboys southward. Friday night football here under the lights, nothing like it. We'll go ahead and send it for a timeout and come back with a little Harry Seafood halftime show and Mr. Fred Lopez.
Agnini Family Dental truly is a family of doctors. We strive to give our patients a patient-first dental experience. Our goal at Agnini Family Dental is to provide our patients with the highest level of comprehensive dental care and prevention. Every member of our team promises to put the needs and concerns of every patient first in every aspect of their dental care. Our family of doctors take a tooth-conservative approach to restorative dentistry with a special focus on sedation dentistry, implant dentistry, and orthodontics. Call to schedule your appointment today and let our family of doctors change the way you look.
good food, good times, and all the flavor of New Orleans at Harry's Seafood Bar and Grill.
There was some history made tonight. Straight here.
With me in the press box up here is one of my dear friends, and Dreadnaughts know him well for the kicking prowess that he once had here, and as well as coaching, and incredible booster, and his family has been longtime supporters, and again, a dear friend of mine, Mr. Fred Lopez. Glad to have you up here, Fred.
Tim, good to see you.
It's awesome. And
it's been a while.
It has been a while, and it's exciting. And, you know, I have to tell you, I get a little skittish when I see you and me in a press box together. If Niceville brings back memories to
my
you.
Goodness.
Because me and Fred were up at a playoff game in Niceville, and kind of contrary to their name, Fred had the habit of kind of leaving a little bit early before the end of the game.
It was tradition.
And it was his kind of thing to take off. And so as the game was approaching the end time, they were getting a little rowdy because of kind of what the Dreadnaughts did at the last few moments of that game.
Exactly.
I know you remember it well, and how we took that victory away. And so Fred kind of makes a few comments and ditches me, and I'm there by myself in the middle of this sea of not happy Niceville fans, and who gave me the business, so to speak, on the way out. So it was a lot of fun, and I think what saved me is I was a native son there. I was actually born in Niceville.
Yeah.
Might have been the only thing that saved me, and I got out of there alive.
I couldn't remember if you got escorted out or not, but when I was leaving, I was thinking Tim might have a tough time getting out of here.
I might have needed to be, but you saw, Fred, you know, some family at the beginning of this game. Mike and Lisa Nichols receive an award for all that they've done for, and you know, your family has been so supportive as well, and we'd love to just bring you up here and share a little bit about kind of what's going on with you now and what you're up to. And we got a guest here, too, that you brought up with us. And just you've always been part of that Dreadnaught family.
Absolutely.
And kind of what's happening with Fred Lopez and the family. Give us a little update.
Oh, my goodness. Well,
a lot going on, right?
A lot going on. That's
longer.
it. It's been, it's been years since we've been on the mic together, but certainly those were great years.
Oh, man.
Great years. And we've had some great boosters. And like Coach always likes to say, it takes a village. It's a team. It's a team of boosters, parents, players, former players coming back.
Amen.
But, no, I've been working. I've got 2 daughters married now.
So
I've got my youngest, who's a senior at Florida Southern in nursing.
Wow.
And I've got a granddaughter, 3-year-old.
Every once in a while, I get to see Robin around town with the granddaughter, and that's awesome.
For those that follow me on Facebook, if I ever post anything, usually it's a picture of Stella. So
much prettier face.
That's
than
right.
The rest of us.
That's it. Boy, what a game tonight! What a way to start the season. You could tell these players were ready to go. They wanted to suit up bad.
Yeah, you know, when we had one of the breaks, the weather breaks, Kavaris Thomas, I could see was one of the last ones off. He's like, I don't want to get off the field. I want to play this thing. And so, Fred, what are your opinions of this team? You know, a little bit of youth, but that experience in the quarterback, impressive.
Well, obviously, the confidence in having a senior quarterback is huge. Mm-hmm. And but they came out, you could just tell they were ready to go. And Coach made reference to the fact that this was a young team, but a very talented team. And it was evident tonight. I mean, this is a physical but fast defense. Mm-hmm. And obviously,
that was one of the question marks, right? With the size issue, would they be able to kind of keep up?
They're physical, but they're fast. And, of course, number 3, what a playmaker. Unbelievable. And he's a sophomore. Finley Graham, right?
And you know as well as I do that some players just have that knack, Ahmad Black, you know, for being around the ball.
Absolutely.
And he's one of those that just kind of feels that way, like he's always going to be around those players.
A big-time presence. I mean, you know, huge interceptions. And not just turnovers, but for touchdowns.
Yeah,
I mean, some pick sixes,
some big
time.
things. how about, what are your impressions again of this senior quarterback? And, you know, I'm so impressed by the way he's able to, you know, brush off some of the pressure and then keep his composure. What do you think about him?
I think he's going to have a tremendous year. If he continues like this, I mean, I thought the offensive line, listen, that number 22, sophomore, another sophomore.
History you said being made tonight with Bowman.
Well, Tim, years ago, I mean, the last time we saw a tailback score 4 touchdowns was Chris Rainey versus Brandon his sophomore year. And then, you know, the rest is history. He's got to do a little bit more work before we start talking to him.
But some
and
of that same
him,
sophomore swagger, maybe, you know, a little bit. That's
I'll tell you what,
there.
A couple touchdowns ain't too bad for a sophomore.
No,
and the offensive line opened up some nice holes, but he had some good runs where it was his effort only. And but it was impressive quarterback. I thought. Obviously, it was his first game. Wasn't his best game tonight.
Yeah,
obviously,
he's made a couple blips.
You know, he gave up a nice touchdown. He was mad at himself in the beginning where that kid was slap wide open in the middle. But he's loaded with ability, and it's going to be fun to see what he can do.
Yeah, and with those talented receivers as well that we'll begin to see develop. Something that obviously you kicked for Lakeland High School, and you know this kicker is doing well. I mean, to have a weapon to be able to kick it in the end zone every time. Talk about maybe, you know, it's not as easy as it looks.
No,
and talk
a
little bit about a kicker as a weapon and how important that is for a team, really, to have that.
Well, when you force the opposing offense to have to go 80 yards every time, that's big time.
It is big time.
I mean, this kid's got the real deal leg.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to see. It'll be fun to just see how consistent. The key is the consistency. If he can consistently get those extra points and kick those short field goals, and then 95% of the time he's putting it deep. I mean, these were the years. These were the type of years where we made a nice run deep into the playoffs. When you got a solid defense and a star quarterback, a tailback, offensive line. Special teams, I'm adding it up.
Yeah, it adds up to a nice year potentially. And, of course, we never know what those dreaded injuries can do to you. And
Correct.
So you got to, you know, as we move along the season, we always watch out for that. But I think some good signs to come. And
it's good to see you, Tim.
This
is fun.
It's very good to see.
It's like we never stop doing it.
Keep rapping. And, you know, you've, of course, had the coaching experience as well. And does Coach Castle ever age?
No,
Coach Castle. We're all getting older, and he stays the same.
He's going to hear me say this, but he came out the first Booster Club meeting, and he got up in front of everybody, and he goes, "This was the worst practice in my 46-year career." And I was like, "Okay, this is going to be another good season.
Here we go again. We're going to do well."
Great.
Yeah. It's the toughest opponent.
He was waving that crying towel. It was awesome.
I know. And you never know. Obviously, people were wanting to see that Manatee game last week. And you know,
I went.
Oh, you were there. I'm
there.
sorry for that.
I played against Manatee, and so I wanted to see the game. I knew it was bad, but we gave it a shot.
Yeah, we gave it a shot, and sure enough, there's a different kind of point system this year. So Manatee was actually a little upset that they didn't get to play that game.
That's right.
But just obviously unavoidable. But
it was bad weather. We couldn't have
had to stick this one out, and they wanted to get it in and wanted to get some play time because you don't want to go slash 2 games that don't count. So
that's it.
We're glad to have this one. Can say probably pretty safely in the books as far as
I think so.
Yeah, in the W column.
I think so.
Yeah, so I know that, again, we see you around town. Obviously, you and I are in the same kind of similar field. And
absolutely.
And it's a joy. I know that you have
hear good things about you.
Same to you. And to serve and to have a fellow, advisor that serves and has that heart for helping people. So we know we appreciate that and what you do as well. And I know that's an honor, just like I think it is to help people.
It's an honor. It's a calling. Like I tell people, we don't count the hours. It's what we do.
Yeah. And if I don't know if you wanted to just say hello, introduce
we got
a young man here to say
we got a little star.
Hi to us real quick. And
this is Ben Madden. He's one of the Madden boys. His brother is the starting linebacker, Robert Madden, on the team tonight.
Pretty fun to watch Big Brother.
And he's got 2 other brothers, George and John Michael, that played.
Yeah.
The former Dreadnaughts.
Okay, a lot of people will remember that.
He's got a cousin Chase. Two of it. He's got a brother and a cousin at West
Whether
Point.
you like it or not, you're orange and black through and through,
so
right?
You ready to put the mic on and say hi to your brothers and your cousin? Give them a little shout out.
Hey, George and Chase.
Look right there.
Hey, George and Chase. Robert's playing a great game. Having fun at West Point?
Little bro saying hi, and that's awesome. Again, once part of the family, always part of the Dreadnought family, and it's good to have him up here in the press box with us, and we're glad you're here and glad you stuck it out through the weather delays. So I think the second half is going to be a little faster than the first half.
I think so.
I think they're going to move this thing along. So, well, good. Well, Fred, I don't know if anyone else you wanted to maybe say hello to or anything else you wanted to maybe talk about. And I know you're blessed.
So much.
Family.
We're
and
totally blessed.
Day by day, time goes quick. They keep saying that as we get older, but it's like that end of the toilet paper roll.
Showing a little bit of gray.
I had one of our, I don't know if he's Stephen Cooper, I think it was, 86, year of 86. He razzed me a little bit, with the text saying a little more gray in the beard this year. And I said, yeah, but that's good. And as the years go by, some things change, but some things stay the same. And high level of excellence with Lakeland football stays the same. So.
And Tim, I tell you, folks, we take for granted the dedication and the years of service. Tim being the voice of the Knots for all these years, I've come and go and I visit, but I'll tell you what, there's a lot to be said about your consistency and your dedication to Dreadnought football.
Thank you.
It's huge.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Thank you.
It's a
thank
joy.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sure the fans appreciate it. You're very good at what you do.
Thanks. It's a joy and honor, and these are the special times I get to have young men come up and see this next generation come up, and then have good old friends up here in the press box as well that are cherished memories.
Absolutely. Well, I look forward to a lot more games, man. Maybe I'll come back. Maybe I'll come back up and say hi.
Please do.
Maybe we'll call a game for fun.
That'd be awesome. As a matter of fact, if Jeff kicks out a little bit, sometimes he has to come over from Brandon and gets caught in traffic. I'm gonna have your cell phone number on speed dial.
That's it. Just text me up.
That's perfect. So Fred Lopez, and thank you for joining us. Thank you again so much. We'll see you again real soon.
You got it.
Take care. Good seeing you.
All right, man.
Bye-bye. Thanks, brother.
Juniors and seniors, submit your A's and B's to Bartow Ford for your chance to win a new Mustang. Visit DriveForExcellence.com for official rules. The 25th annual Drive for Excellence with Bartow Ford. We're different, and we prove it.
Why buy at Regal Chevrolet in Lakeland? We're family owned, serving Central Florida for 40 years with a new facility, including a new service department, exceptional service from a staff that gets it right the first time, a clean, comfortable customer lounge, and over 20 acres of our $8 million inventory, all priced to move. Last chance for model year-end savings. Shop online 24/7. Plus, we'll even deliver to your home or office. Trust Regal Chevrolet in Lakeland.
Good times, and all the flavor of New Orleans at Harry's Seafood Bar and Grill.
Welcome back to Bryant Stadium as we're set for the second half kickoff and the running clock. (54-7) your score. Thanks for staying with us and the Harry's Seafood halftime show. We appreciate their continued sponsorship as we will hopefully have a much quicker second half than we had getting to this point. But apparently both teams have agreed to kind of stick it out and go ahead and finish the game properly, so we're going to do that with a little bit of a shortened halftime show, but perfect to be filled with a good discussion with Mr. Fred Lopez. That was a lot of fun to reminisce a little bit, as I'm sure we'll see some second and third teamers. As number 14 still has the ball for the Knots, makes a nice cut and keeps the ball around the 45. Nice little run back. Wasn't content to run out of bounds. He decided to stay in, and Deshaun Graham, the 11th grade wide receiver, made a nice little run back and gave the Knots some good field position, as we should see some backups enter the game now. First and 10 at the 45. You can officially say you're a not fan if you're still hanging in there with us here in the third quarter this time of evening. So we're grateful to you. Look at that, popcorn. Is it like fresh popcorn? Jeff Goddard comes bringing gifts. Okay, maybe not fresh, but it's there. So we do see the backup quarterback, number 24, who hands off the left side. That is one Sean Smith. He's actually listed as a linebacker, interestingly enough, as a sophomore. Was getting some handoffs. Loss of 2, second down and 12.
Tim, you notice they're doing 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah, I did. So for all of you at home, they also shortened the third quarter down to 10 minutes and running clock. So back to nearly the original line of scrimmage. Goes number 25, Marquis Marbra.
When your backup quarterback comes in wearing number 24 and he's listed as a linebacker, I don't think he's going to pass the ball very much.
No.
So what did you and Mr. Lopez talk about?
Boy, that was a lot of fun. We reminisced about a few games that we called together with some memories. We talked about some history being made, obviously, with Bowman, and last time you remembered us calling a 4-touchdown half with Chris Rainey, and just caught us up to date a little bit on his family, what's going on, and mentioned, obviously, he brought up young Madden here to say hello to his older brothers, the youngest of the Madden boys. And again, it just goes deep. Showed how many cousins and brothers and he has around Dreadnought football over the last decade or so.
Ben's a very talented artist.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Of course, the Lopez and Maddens are a joint family.
Yeah,
now.
yes, and I didn't realize that as well. Pushed back. Now 3rd and 15. So at the 7-minute mark here in the third quarter, quarterback keeper. Oh, big shot. Just shy of the 45. Nice hit.
That was a snobber knocker.
That was a big stick, whatever it was. Heard it.
Who were they playing when Rainey scored the 4 touchdowns and a half? Was that Brandon?
It was Brandon, yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I still see some of those highlights on YouTube. That was an incredible. He just was in the zone. You hear that terminology, but I mean, no one could stop him. I don't care who you were. He just had a laser focus and looked even 2 steps quicker than he normally was that night.
He was worth the price of admission.
Yeah. So punt.
For the first time.
For the first time. A bit of a, whoa, almost hits Madden. Kind of a warbler. It's going to trickle down just right at about the 20, inside the 20. It's good to know that you may not need your punter too much, is Jace Hohenthaner. Hopefully I don't have to, I like him, but hopefully I don't have to say his name a whole lot.
Yeah.
I mean that in the nicest way, that we're not punting the ball a lot.
Yeah, I was talking with Steve Manning down there at halftime. We were discussing the new running back who's kind of really made a name for himself tonight, DeMarcus Bowman, and talking about AJ. I kind of thought that he's kind of like a cross between Chris Rainey and AJ. I mean,
I'd agree with that.
I mean, Rainey was a lot smaller. He was like, I think, 157 when he graduated. Bowman's a sophomore. He's already up to 185. And, he's got the speed and some of the jukeability that Rainey had, not to that degree, but he's also got, similar size to AJ, especially at that age. So he's a nice blend, nice combination. And actually, I don't know if Fred talked about this, but Steve was telling me that Fred had told him that he's seen DeMarcus Bowman in the gym at Gold's Gym, and he said he's a beast in the gym.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's...
Yeah. Some inside information for you, courtesy of Steve Madden.
Yeah. 2nd down and 5. DiLiello still out there fighting to try to put some points on the board, and the second-team defense in there, making them run, getting some pressure, now throwing the ball. Caught down the sideline. Number 7 is going to pick up a first down. Nice patience by DiLiello. Emmanuel Almanzar, number 7. 54-7 your score here. The Knots going to go on the probably mandatory last water break maybe, or I guess they're going to have one more.
The hydration respite. They can't
even
even
cut
the water breaks with 10-minute halves. Come on, 10-minute quarters.
Might let those slide. Let's go ahead and take another timeout here with the Dreadnaughts up 54-7. Stay with us. Back at Bryant Stadium. The running clock here in the third quarter. Abbreviated halftime and abbreviated third quarter, 10 minutes each. And as soon as they start, they'll get the clock moving as DL is going to throw it into flat to number 4. And he's got pursuit. Wow.
Oh.
2 knots.
Did that count as a slobber knocker?
I'm waiting. That was close.
Tim Conti is the official judge of whether or not a hit is a slobber knocker. Maybe it's just a half or a quarter or a full slobber knocker.
That was like a that was a 3-4, 3/8. Wasn't even a half. It was close. We'll give it a half. We have fun, enjoy ourselves up here. And also get to watch some good prep football in Polk County with the Knots under the direction of Coach Bill Castle. Nice fake handoff. Number 10 is going to
nice
do that
tackle there from
inside
behind.
hand. Oh, that was a good tackle.
Number 36. We don't have a 36 in our roster, but
we're going deep.
Number 36. That was a nice tackle. Want to give a shout out to the members of our Colorado Dreadnought Club.
Wow.
Steve and Amy Reed and their kids, the Double O's.
Steve and
Owen
Amy,
and
all
Olivia.
right.
That's the aunt and uncle to the Madden clan.
All right. Very good.
So glad you guys are enjoying the game. I guess it's actually good for them. We had the rain delay because it's only 8:30 out in Colorado
That's right,
right
their
now.
time.
So they had a chance to eat dinner before they watched the game.
Incomplete pass, short hop. Under 3 minutes now in the third quarter. So Jeff, I'm safe to say that we may have a short post-game show tonight. We're all kind of tired, and we are approaching.
A short post-game show. When the clock hits 0, I'll be in the car.
That'll be abbreviated, as we'll be near the 11 o'clock mark by the time this one's over. DiLiello at midfield is going to roll out right side. Oh, fires it like 3 yards to number 10, and late flag. It was questionable. You're going to call a personal foul, unnecessary roughness.
That's when you have a little bit of touch. That was some spicy mustard from,
that was
from 3 yards.
Spicy.
Yeah, you got to have some touch.
As with spicy mustard with Tabasco on it. That was questionable. The reason I say it was questionable is that the way he threw the ball, the defender was already up on him and didn't even see that the ball was gone, so he just finished tackling him. I'm getting agreement with me back here in
the peanut gallery.
The peanut gallery. DiLiello, high formation, handoff to number 12, who's going to get 5 yards maybe.
And by the way, I did some inquiring too at halftime about whether or not there was any consideration to call in the game at the half with the score being what it was. And I was told that apparently, I believe the Cooper City coach wanted to finish playing it because he wanted to get more reps for his kids. So they may have had a rain out last week too, I'm not sure, but it's understandable, you know.
Well, it gives some of our guys some reps too,
yeah.
back up some reps.
But I do think it's smart to do 10-minute quarters instead of 15. That's probably a good compromise.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
DiLiello, good get scrambling. He's going to be sacked, though. Way to stay with it. Number 36,
Once again, the
no-namer.
mystery player.
Mystery player. Good job. he stuck with it and didn't give up and was able to grab the ankles.
Talking to somebody today about they're eating at this breakfast at a hotel. They're traveling, and so the breakfast was horrible. And I said, "Oh no, the dreaded breakfast mystery meat." 36, he's the Dreadnaught mystery.
But you'll still eat it if you're hungry enough. When you're at that hotel in the morning, you
gotta eat something. He said he ended up having dry cornflakes. So that's how bad it was.
That's bad. Last play of the third quarter here. Yellow throws it off, trying to get the sideline, and grabs the jersey and picks up a first down in the process. Third quarter comes to an end, and they'll reset to another 10. 54-7 your score at the end of the third quarter. We'll take it to another timeout here and be back to finish this thing up.
Why buy at Regal Chevrolet in Lakeland? We're family owned, serving Central Florida for 40 years with a new facility, including a new service department, exceptional service from a staff that gets it right the first time, a clean, comfortable customer lounge, and over 20 acres of our $8 million inventory, all priced to move. Last chance for model year-end savings. Shop online 24/7. Plus, we'll even deliver to your home or office. Trust Regal Chevrolet in Lakeland.
Well, they just announced here at Bryant Stadium, too, that at the end of the fourth quarter, they're just going to, no one on the field, just players shake hands, head to the buses, and they're out. I agree with that.
A mic drop.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Bowman, he can drop the mic tonight.
He could. Done and gone. Well, the drive's still alive for the Cowboys, trying to add to their 7-point total.
So let's start talking about next week.
Yes.
I think it's safe to say it's 54-7.
Okay, we could do that.
So next week, Apopka comes to town. 8A. I don't know if they won the championship last, but I think they won one within the last 2 or 3 years. And, of course, they're coached by former Dreadnaught linebacker coach Rick Darlington. Coached here in the early 90s, maybe even the late 80s. I'm not sure exactly how long he was here. I know the last football season he was here was 93. Another sack.
Nice
for the Dreadnaughts.
Number 34 that time. I think we have a name on Mr.
Dion Sheffield. Neon Dion.
That was like the 1-2 punch. The first one missed him, and Dion came and just kapow.
And so anyway, that's actually my senior year, 94, graduation, but 93 was the last football season. So it was Coach Darlington's last year here. He left and began his journey as a head coach, and has won at least 2, I think maybe 3 state championships at Apopka. Also coached in Valdosta for a few years, which is big-time high school football up there in South Georgia. And I actually got to know, just full disclosure, got to become good friends with Coach Darlington. He was the FCA sponsor my senior year, and I was real involved with Fellowship of Christian Athletes my last year at Lakeland, and just a great guy, and his wife Shelly, and they had like 6 or 8 kids, I think, something like that, 6, 7, 8 kids. And the oldest one, who was like a baby when, I was a senior, and he was, crawling around when we have like pizza Bible study at their house. He, I think, was a center for Oklahoma. I think he may already graduate.
Wow.
He's maybe a senior this year. He finished up a year ago. So, but and then I think he's another center at Nebraska, I think. But anyways, they obviously have a powerhouse program. One of their offensive linemen, William Barnes, being heavily recruited by Florida. He's big, well over 300 pounds. So we'll see him next week. They have a lot of talent on that roster. And it'll definitely be a big-time test for Coach Castle and the Dreadnaughts. But one of the most interesting things to me is this would be the first time that Coach Darlington has faced Castle.
Okay.
You thought maybe they would have faced off before now, but the first time. So much anticipated matchup between Rick Darlington and Bill Castle next Friday night here at Bryant Stadium. And of course, we'll have the webcast for you. I'm hoping to be able to work it out, Tim, to interview Coach Darlington before the game, which will air during the pregame show.
That'd be cool.
Show.
Very good.
That's the goal, is to be able to interview him.
Well, that's a great matchup, and we're looking forward to that. And just 6.5 short days since we were so far into tonight.
Is it Sunday yet?
Is it Sunday? Yeah, that's a great thing to look forward to, and I think that'll be an excellent game and maybe a little truer test for the Knots, particularly the defense. So we're excited to see how
We have
the
a
Dreadnaughts.
good schedule this year. Very exciting schedule.
It is. It's a good schedule.
Now, I did find out too a little bit more about this whole new rule for the
Okay.
playoffs
What'd
with
you
the
find?
point system. Apparently, I talked with Corey Long. Used to write for the Ledger, and he does some writing for ESPN, and works for a magazine too called FNF. So he's here covering the game tonight. He also does some work for Spectrum Sports as well. But anyways, he was explaining to me that basically the whole reason they made these changes, Tim, was because, you know, the last several years they've had several instances where teams like 3-7 or 2-8 make the playoffs, and then you have, because some districts you're not very good, in other districts you have teams that are like, you know, really good, might be the third best team in the district, and then make the playoffs. And he gave me an example. Like last year, Miami Central, who'd won like 3 or 4 state championships in a row, last year it was like 7-2 during the regular season. But their 2 losses like by point to Miami Northwestern, like 3 points or something to Carroll City. Yeah. Didn't make the playoffs. They're probably the 4th best team in the state for that classification or whatever. So that's kind of, you know, some of the reason why they made these changes. And from his understanding, if you win your district, you're in the playoffs no matter what. So that's cool because you got to reward winning the district. But now you no longer guarantee a playoff spot as a district runner-up. There's a kind of a complicated point system based on not only your record but essentially strength of schedule quotient of who you play and everything. And so basically there's some point system based on that, the record and teams you play, all that kind of stuff. And I think, anyway, so based on that point system, that's how the remaining playoff field gets determined as opposed to who the district runners-up are.
So the only time the running clock stops is when there is an injury on the field, and there is an injury on the Cowboy side at around the 12-yard line.
All right, there's our Colorado contingent. You got Steve.
Wow, even getting pictures up now.
And his wife, Amy, and then Owen and Olivia. We love the Reeds. They used to live in Lakeland a long time. They moved to Colorado a few years ago. And game in the back, as you can see, they're watching on their big screen TV. And Steve would actually be the uncle to Robert Madden.
Very cool.
Yep, he's the younger brother of Robert's mom, Stephanie. And, of course, Steve Madden is very happy to have him involved with the Booster Club now. He's kind of co-president and leading the Booster Club along with Sid Kimbrell. So
yeah, that might be
Steve's doing a great
new
job.
thing right there is you can send your picture to
Mike
with the TV in the background with watching the game and the webcast in the background. Yeah, right. Yeah. The Knots kind of running through the motions here with 5 minutes left on offense. That time, look at that, maybe a first down. Oh, he ran into someone here at the 25. If he was able to elude that defender, he may have gotten there, but he's going to fall up short, and it'll be 4th down. So it's going to be a punt for the Knots as the clock now again back in motion. Decent little 15-yard run, but it'll be 4th and short, and they will punt it away. And this is Jace again. Hohenthaler. Apologize because I know I'm saying that wrong. Not sure if that's a timeout. I was looking the other direction. They stopped the clock with 4:58. Waiting to little talking to some coaches. Just it doesn't matter what the score is, you're going to coach till the very end.
So Tim, you gave me a good idea. We should start a contest, like, you know, have families who are watching the game send us pictures of them watching the webcast. It's got to have the TV in the background to prove it, and then we'll become a contest. In the year, we'll pick which picture looks the best.
I like it. We come see, it just naturally comes to you. Come up with something every year.
And then if we can get like my parents watch it every week.
That's right. There you go. You could do that. They could swing that.
And then what we could do is we could get a sponsor like Best Buy or something, and the winning family gets a new big screen TV.
Jeff, the marketing mind coming up. Nice punt. Gets the ball up in the air, and fair catch. Pushed him back way to about the 37, 38.
Very nice punt, much better than the first one.
Oh, yeah. So I'd say this is the last chance probably for the Cowboys to put some more points on the board with 4:30 left on the running clock.
Yeah, 4:30 won't last very long with the running clock.
And again, if they even scored, the Dreadnaughts will get the ball back and run things out. So this is probably their last opportunity. As Jeff said, the coach just wanted to finish this game to give his players some reps against the Knots. Not a bad idea, and a way for them.
You made it trip all the way up here, and you had to wait it out. You might as well get your money's worth, right?
DiLiello playing till the end. Nice pass out to number 28. Roan Samoy picks up about 8 yards.
Stokes pass complete to Samoy, number 28, knocked out of bounds.
Yeah, maybe six or seven. We're at the end, my friend.
Yes, sir. I was thinking a while ago, I wish I could channel my inner John Madden. We had a telestrator, and I could break down the Reed's viewing party out in Colorado, you know?
Yeah.
Draw.
We're close. We're one step away from that kind of technology here at the.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you anybody out there wants to make a big donation to the Lakeland football webcast, yeah, we can have replays. We can have telestrator. Right. But now I will say this though, Tim. If you really want to take it to the next level, if you text us your picture of your family viewing party, you got to show us what you're eating. I mean, show me the dip, show me the pizza, the wings.
You're just gonna make me hungry then.
Ice cold Coca-Cola, whatever you got. We got to see it, you know. That's another component to this contest. Show us what you got.
Shotgun rolling out left side. Number 88's open. Now getting pressure. He's going to have to switch direction, and he's going to get swamped. Number 34 first on the scene for the Knots. Dion Sheffield again.
Prime time.
Pressure.
Neon Dion. I hope Michigan gets swamped tomorrow, my friend.
Yeah, right. It's going to be a tough one. Big loss. Sheffield with the
Hey, I think that when teams travel at college, I mean, I think the team just pays for the food, right? Because I don't want any players using their debit cards on this trip, that's for sure.
Yeah. Very true.
Every day I check the Gator website just in fear that somebody else can be suspended.
Under 2 minutes now. 2nd and 20. Again goes down, DiLiello. Look at that. Pressure from all
Well, we had like
all areas.
4 or 5 sacks in this abbreviated second half.
Fresh legs, that's what it'll do for you, right? They can come in and Jeff, we got another viewing party from the booth.
Oh, the booth itself.
They're second on the board officially.
Mary and Nat, and then of course Mac O'Bear over there in front of the
Look at that.
control board. Appreciate you guys making the webcast happen.
Number 2. Yeah, you know, you forget, you know, Michael, obviously people hear his name and what he does, but I was talking to him earlier. He gets here at 3:30, 4 o'clock before the games to get set up, make sure everything's running well. So talk about dedication. Fumble on the play. Nice forced fumble. Picked up down to the 25. The Knots will have the ball with a few seconds left and probably will not get the run up play. Maybe get the run
Anthony
one.
Bird, I was about to be able to do my Chris Berman impersonation. Rumbling, stumbling, bumbling.
He wanted to pick it up and go.
Touchdown for Bird.
Wasn't quite able to do it, but he was trying.
He tried his best.
May get a playoff on offense. We'll see with 35 seconds left.
All right, at this time, we want to bring in the Agnini Family Dental postgame show.
Let's crank up the postgame show.
The players of the game.
Michael Barrett agreed, quickest ever.
DeMarcus Bowman.
DeMarcus Bowman.
Jesse Williams, and on defense, the pick 6 maestro, Finley Graham. There you go.
Congratulations.
Take a bow, DeMarcus, Finley, and Jesse.
Players of the game.
We might score one more touchdown if he cuts back. And no, it's a flag anyways.
With 1 second left. Holding call. I don't know, can the game end on a holding penalty? I don't think it matters.
The game can't end on an offensive penalty, though.
That's right.
One more play.
Officially.
No,
they're done. They don't care. Some rules are made to be broken. That one's out.
Your final score tonight from Bryant Stadium. Lakeland High School 54, Cooper City High School 7.
So the first official W goes in the books for the Dreadnaughts here at Bryant Stadium. Home will be home again next week against Apopka, as Jeff mentioned, and we hope
the Blue Darters.
Blue Darters. Hope that you join us. But this is gonna be a quick one. Thanks for hanging in there tonight with us. Dreadnaughts all around, fun to watch, especially on offense. Racked up the points and did a great job of
You're right.
showing their weapons.
It's a lot of fun to watch those big play offenses.
It was
and
a lot
this
of
year,
fun.
Lakeland is going to be a joy to watch. It's going to be an exciting season. And once again, our players of the game: offense, DeMarcus Bowman; defense, Finley Graham, 2 pick sixes, and of course, special teams will go Jesse Big Leg Williams.
Just for keeping the leg going and putting it in the end zone just about every
and,
time.
as my brother Robbie pointed out, 6 touchdowns scored by 2 sophomores.
Not bad. So bright future for the Dreadnaughts and experience. I think they have it all. It's going to be a fun run here in this 2017 season that's underway. We'll continue it next week here at Bryant Stadium against Apopka. I'm done.
Everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy your Labor Day. Be safe, and we'll see you next Friday night, 7 o'clock for the Agnini
Good night.
Dental pregame show.
God bless everyone. Take care.